What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the stream. We're live with the T5S2 Season 5 Invitational. This is the first game of this season's top 16 competition. And I don't know about you, chat, but I could not be more excited for the level of competition that we are going to be showcasing this season in the Invitational. For those who don't know, this is the top 16 players from the T5S2 competitive online 40K series, which is a Warhammer 40,000 competitive circuit encompassing over 300 players, in fact, meaning that these are going to be an extremely high caliber of player, being a top very small percentile of the 300 participants here of the circuit. This is the 5th invitational tournament. We are moving into Season 6 now, and we've run 4 of these in the past, and all of them have been exciting. This time we have a pretty interesting swath of factions, and one of the most interesting matchups in the Invitational to start things off with, because we have over here in the red, MooMooCow playing Asuryani with a really interesting Craft World Ulthway list, focusing on fire prisms to deliver absolutely punishing long-range firepower and protecting them with cheaper trading units like Rangers and Aspect Warriors. Whereas on the other side here in the blue, we have a little bit more, I think, of a meta call. This is from MaxGW playing Necrons. An Obsec Dynasty Necrons, bringing Eternal Conquerors and Relentlessly Expansionist, giving them that 6-inch pregame move and objective secured on all of their units. But we do have quite a selection of special characters in Max's list. Both of these players are no stranger to the top tables of 40K events. We've seen MooMooCow in Invitationals past, as well as in T5S2 pod finals quite often. And MaxGW is actually the winner of one of our server GTs from last season, where he played Thousand Suns, if I remember correctly, and was able to take it down in an insane game. Now, we do want to throw out a quick shout out to our sponsors here before we get started in the game. Too far. The T5S2 Invitational, made possible by 3D6 Core Gaming. You can get all sorts of super cool. Hello, Mr. Doomscythe. How's it going? Where you can get all sorts of super cool gaming accessories, including 2D neoprene objective markers. You can even find some Tactical Tortoise objective markers. If you want these objective markers yourself, you can get those at 3D6 Wargaming. Exclamation point sponsors in chat if you want links to any of these places. GameMat.eu. Use coupon code TT10 for a 10% discount. They make incredible, absolutely gorgeous, and even double-sided gaming mats. So you can actually get 2 designs for the price of 1, which is super awesome, as well as some pre-painted 3D terrain. And last but not least, a brand new sponsor to the C5S2 circuit, Snot Goblin Gaming, who is bringing a modular ruin terrain system to Kickstarter later this summer. I'm going to be doing a little bit more showcases on Snot Goblin Gaming's products in the not-too-distant future, but it is a kick-ass Kickstarter, bringing some easily-to-assemble and modular 3-dimensional terrain to 40K tables near you, which is super sick. But obviously, thanks everyone for coming and joining. Big thanks to the sponsors for helping us out here at T5S2. And let's get into a super sick game of Warhammer 40K. Looks like players are MooMooCow here appropriately screening out where his opponent can potentially go with their pregame move. Can't forget that additional 6 inches of threat range that they could potentially have on the first turn of the game. And we can talk about the list real quick here. Exclamation point lists in chat if you want to get access to those. You can also find all of the lists at tts40k.com. And for those who don't know as well, we are multi-streaming between YouTube and Twitch today. So if you see some comments in the comments bar that you haven't expected, or you can't see in the chat room, that would be why. Don't freak out. It's not magic, I swear. So MaxGW over here, playing this Necron Obsec Dynasty list. He's bringing Supreme Command Detachment with the Silent King, with that new, shiny, brand new core keyword. Being able to benefit from his own buffs, as well as a ton of other synergies within the faction, is super strong. Although he will not benefit from the Obsec Dynasty traits, so he's not going to be objective secured himself, and he's not going to be able to make a Relentlessly Expansionist pregame move. Then we have that relentlessly expansionist spearhead detachment, bringing a Catacomb Command Barge with a Voltaic Staff and Enduring Will, so he can stick around in combat a little bit longer, especially because it is a Command Barge with that Quantum Shielding. He is going to be only wounded on 4s and has the potential for a 4+ invulnerable save on top of a damage reduction effect, makes that guy pretty difficult to kill. And even compounded by the fact that he is a 9-wound character, so he's actually untargetable by ranged attacks as long as he's being lookout-sirred. So you can get pretty far up the table with that guy, and being a vehicle as well. He's also got that core keyword just like the Silent King, so he has a lot of internal synergy. We have a Catan Shard of the Deceiver, bringing Cosmic Insanity, his own Catan power, as well as Sky of Falling Stars to add some indirect fire to the army. And that gorgeous Redeploy, which is targetable to core units, which means they can also hit the Silent King. We have a unit of 5 Scorpic Destroyers alongside a Plasma Sight to buff them up, 2 units of Tomb Blades, 3 individual Locust Heavy Destroyers with their Heavy Gauss Destructor, one of the most efficient anti-tank weapons in the entire game, 3 Annihilation Barges, I think mostly to go on with the barge theme. Got a little bit of a sub-theme in the faction, which I appreciate, alongside 2 Doom Sights, which is a little bit interesting. Those Doom Sights also, I think, maybe the only aircraft in the game with the core keyword, and will potentially, if we see an aggressive posture from the Silent King, be able to push up the table and get rerolls to hit from him. Or at the very least, in the command phase, they can get targeted by My Will Be Done for +1 to hit, and then fly over and make use of that bonus to hit. Although, to be fair, players were discussing before the game how squishy the Doom Sights were without the defense from abilities like that Quantum Shielding. Meaning that they might get pulled out of the sky by Fire Prisms. I don't know. We'll see. Could happen. But it remains to be seen whether or not we're going to be able to take them out. We do have some pretty good terrain features for aircraft in the map pool today. If you were here before the stream, you saw our little map pool breakdown in the pre-stream loop. But we do have pretty large ruins here that can, in some circumstances, hide aircraft, although not from every angle. As you can see here, if MooMooCow does want to play a little bit aggressively, he can push up the side of the table and...
Good luck to all the competitors. Thanks for all your hard work organizing Trevi.
JX Cole with the super chat. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, yeah. The support is greatly appreciated, and absolutely good luck to all the competitors. I think everyone who is in the Invitational this season has worked their absolute little tushies off to get here. I know we have some really hardcore tournament grinders. MaxGW has played in a ton of tournaments, both Tactical Tortoise and external events. We do accept scores from not only Tactical Tortoise events, but any 1,500 point or greater GT40K tournament is eligible to submit points to T5S2, and we have a lot of scores coming in from external tournaments, even more and more as the seasons go on. So if you run online 40K tournaments, or even if you want to run online 40K tournaments, go to tts40k.com, scroll down to the bottom of that page, and it'll tell you how to submit your scores to T5S2. But MooMooCow as well joins a ton of T5S2 pods, does very well in them, and we have some players here who have just joined every single event that they could get their hands on in order to get those precious T5S2 scores to qualify for the Invitational at the end of the season. So I think a lot of people are very excited to be here, and I'm excited to be here talking about them. Speaking of which, we can talk about MooMooCow's list very quickly here as the players complete their deployment step. MooMooCow.
Spotted.
There you go, chat. Get those that soundboard in. MooMooCow with a Ulthway battalion detachment. This is bringing Behareth, a Farseer, and a Farseer Skyrunner, although to be fair, MooMooCow does have a second detachment, a patrol detachment, to bring another HQ choice because he has Karandros in his list as well. And it will be interesting to see whether or not he forward deploys Karandros for the opportunity to try to get up and alpha strike some units off the table.
We stand ready.
Thanks, chat. That's good to hear. By the way, if you're in YouTube and feeling a little bit left out, you can head on over to twitch.tv/TacticalTortoiseTV and check that out. It's good stuff. Looks like we got a resub from Kiania. Thank you for the resub. Looks like our alert box might be a little messed up for Twitch. Sorry about that. Hopefully that fixes it. Hey. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Literally flawless text-to-speech there, chat. Yeah, we'll get a prediction in there, chat. Looks like some people are asking for one over on Twitch. So if you are on Twitch, you can bet Tortoise tokens, our little currency here, to vote on who will win. And we do have Necrons versus Ulthway today. Give it a 5-minute prediction there, chat, because the game's going to be starting relatively quickly here. 5 minutes to get your channel points in. But so speaking, finishing off MooMooCow's list, he does have 2 Farseers in his first detachment, 1 Farseer Skyrunner with the Ghost Helm of Aeldari, which it looks like he's going to be trying to score off Psychic Interrogation, which is typically a very good pick against Necrons. They do have a deny off Sarek, but the Ghost Helm of Aeldari can potentially overcome that because it makes your Psychic powers undeniable on an unmodified 9+ to cast. And especially alongside Strands of Fate dice, you can make that pretty reasonable. We also have 3 units of Rangers in the first detachment, 1 unit of Striking Scorpions, 2 units of Warlock Skyrunners, 1 of 3, 1 of 1. The Singleton has a Quicken, so we can potentially be very aggressive with our Farseer Skyrunner. And then if we have enough Strands of Fate dice to automatically pass our Quicken, we can run him away and keep him safe. We have 1 unit of Shining Spears, 1 unit of 4 Shroud Runners, 5 Swooping Hawks, as well as the pièce de résistance in that detachment, 3 Fire Prisms with Crystal Targeting Matrices. Not a unit that you see too often anymore, especially once with the Fire and Fade change from the most recent Data Slate document having come into effect. And it's super cool to see these guys on the table. Hopefully they do a bunch of damage, although maybe not for Max. I'm sure Max is hoping that they do no damage. But with the ability to linked fire and ignore invulnerable saves from these guys, they could potentially be shooting through those quantum shielding saves alongside the Ulthway reroll that they have floating in order to help convert their attacks into that transhuman effect from quantum shielding, which could be extremely dangerous to the style of Necron list. And then that's followed up by the second detachment, the patrol detachment, bringing Karandras, like we said before, as well as 1 unit of Rangers. Super interesting list from both of these players. I think definitely Ulthway versus the OBSEC Dynasty is probably not a matchup that we are going to be surprised to see going on into the Nephilim season, given that these are 2 of the highest scoring and most effective factions in the game. And it looks like our roll to go first is about to start here. Craft World's in with a 2 and tied with Necrons for a 2. All right, exciting start. 2 again. And Necrons with a 3. All right. Well, hopefully the game is as hotly contested as that roll to go first, chat, because it looks like we are going to have MaxGW taking the first turn in this first game of the T5S2 Season 5 Invitational. And the clock has started. Players did not put their command points in the tracker here, chat. We'll see if we can get that gun.
Okay.
Whichever you like. What I will do is I will put... when do we have the... like everything happens at the start of the battle round with the Strands of Fate dice and the redeploys.
Yep.
Do we roll off for who determines what we do first, or?
No, because you oh, I guess you're not...
It's all at the start of the first battle
Yeah,
round.
it's all... So, yeah, okay, it's your call, I guess.
Yeah, start of battle round stuff is rolled for.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. So just... So
Go 5.
Okay, so you just declare what we do first.
You can redeploy first.
Right, thank you. Thank you.
And can I get you guys to put your command points into the trackers when you get a
Oh!
chance?
Well, we're very professional today, aren't we?
Nailing it right now.
My god. What happens next? So we just
All right, very good. All right, so players going through their start of battle round effects. Is there a link to the Necron models? They look fantastic. You can never find good flyers or barges. I believe all these models are from the Battleforge mod pack. I think that Max has given the Flyers at least a custom base. But yeah, I think these are all from the Battleforge mod pack. So if you install that, they should all be there. Not enough chaos on the table, chat. Yeah, that's fair. Could always use more chaos for sure. So Necrons with the first turn here, and this is oftentimes a little bit scary. Although Necrons are still a very strong second turn faction because getting that bottom round 5 scoring is really impactful. So it looks like we're using our Deceiver redeploy here to drop the Silent King up forward so we can get better lines of sight with our Triarchal Miniers. Looks like we may be able to cut a tiny line of sight on this Fire Prism, which would be a little bit awkward. Although, to be fair, we don't know what the Strands of Fate are yet, which is why we saw MooMooCow ask his opponent to, because he won that pregame roll-off, to redeploy his units first. Now MooMooCow knows that there is a potential that he could get hit with those Minier shots, so when he rolls his Strands of Fate dice, he's going to be prioritizing saving throws. Because he does have a universal 6+ invulnerable save on his units because of the Oathway subfaction ability, and being able to sub in automatically past invulnerable saves using those Strands of Fate dice, and so obviously a 6 on a dice roll will pass a 6+ invulnerable save, means that against these super heavy anti-tank shots from the Locust Heavy Destroyers and the Silent King himself, he can potentially blank a couple of those. And with 2 Farseers on the table to potentially reroll those Strands of Fate dice, plus the Oathway ability to keep additional ones, he has a lot of control over his Strands of Fate, so he has a ton of opportunities to try to fish for whatever he needs. Now, it looks like we are going to be pushing a Scorpic Destroyer unit here, maybe trying to force a Phantasm off of the Aeldari player. We are playing, for the record here, we do see 2-inch bubbles on all these Rangers, and we do have wire weave nets on the Rangers that are tagged with it, so thank you to MooMooCow for making that easy for everyone to see. But we are playing with the 2-inch engagement rule because of obscuring terrain. That hasn't been changed by Games Workshop yet, although a lot of people are asking for it. But that is why we do see the Rangers with a 2-inch bubble here to make sure that they cannot be engaged through this wall. Although given the fact that the ruin is obscuring, it will extend people's engagement range by 1 inch if they stand in it. Surprisingly, no Illuminor in the Necron list to resurrect the Miniers. Yeah, for sure, chat. I definitely think Illuminor is a pretty strong pick. Almost, regardless of the list you're in, but especially because of his synergy with the Silent King. And being able to buff Necron vehicles now is super duper impactful. Because most of his buffs are going to be pretty effective almost regardless of, or on vehicles, or at least the majority of them. Which means the random dice roll for them isn't too big of a hindrance if he's targeting something like the Silent King. So it looks like we're pre-measuring our Locust Heavy Destroyer here. They are only move 8, but they are going to get +1 potentially from Protocol of the Sudden Storm if we elect to reveal that on turn 1. And then the Silent King's Relentless March as well, giving an additional +1 to that Locust Heavy Destroyer, so +2 inches of movement for the most part. And a lot of times Necron players elect to pick Protocol of the Sudden Storm for their all-game, their permanent protocol, which means that the aura of the Silent King becomes a permanent aura. A permanent +2, excuse me. And Silent King himself goes up to a 10-inch movement.
Does it give us options on the spears? I don't think so. So we're simply going to have the CCB. We do need the CCB to be right here for the time being. We're gonna have this Annihilation Pouch. Can we get anything over to here? Do not think we do. So it will just be largely about removing specific aspects. It would have to be over here. Right. Then we would. That is like 5 models here. We cleared those. So if this guy just goes 19 inches right over here, you can actually reach that. And be in a nice position.
Dino spotted.
So another benefit that we see here being used by Max is the fact that we are on the scouring today for round 1. So all of the round 1 games
Dino
for
spotted.
the thank you, chat. All of the round 1 games for the Invitational are going to be played on this mission. So we're going to see this mission a couple times over the next couple of days. Although as we move on to round 2, we will get a little bit of variety. But the mission's bonus points are scored by performing an action on objectives to scan them. That action does require the objective to be clear of enemies, though. So if we see this super heavy push from the Necrons really early, we could potentially see that action get entirely denied on the first turn. It looks like I have to imagine that we're going to be angling to get a charge with the Scorpic Destroyers onto Objective 1, basically trying to use our pregame move and bonuses to move as much as possible, although the wire weave net on that front Ranger squad is going to make things a little bit awkward. But then being able to get an Annihilation Barge on the other objective, although it won't disrupt control this early in the game, it will prevent any bonus points from being scored, especially since Necrons don't have great indirect fire. We really only have the Sky of Falling Stars. And obviously we can fire with the airplanes at units that are hiding behind buildings, but it's unlikely that you kill an entire Ranger unit. So it's not super likely that Necrons can deny the Aeldari from scanning this objective next turn, meaning if they're able to kill the Rangers there now, that's going to be the easiest way to prevent MooMooCow from scoring those 3 points. Looks like we're just proxying a Silent King position here. Yeah, so what we've done is we've actually pre-measured and marked the Silent King's final, the aura, his final position, and the size of his aura, which means the Doom Scythe can move up that far and get full rerolls from his little ranged buff buddy there. I wonder which one on the throne it is. Which one of these little guys do you think is the ranged guy? It's probably the dude with the huge eyeball, right? He kind of looks, he's got kind of a death mark look to him. So I bet that's the guy. Now we do also have the pregame moves on the aircraft as well. The interesting thing about the aircraft pregame moves is that they actually aren't affected by the minimum move rule, since the minimum move rule only affects you during your movement phase. So they can move, although they are still affected by supersonic. So they are going to have to do rotates as normal, which does make these moves a little bit funky. Especially since if they protrude off the table edge, they actually strategically preserve themselves. So you don't want to make sure. You want to make sure that you, you resolve that appropriately.
Enough, I suppose. So he will just go like this, and he does want to go like this, and then just go like this.
Yep.
Almost perfectly split on our prediction here, chat. 58% for Necrons, 42% for Ulthway.
Okay, so that brings us to turn 1, finally.
Okay,
and
so I'll roll.
Here goes the start of the first turn.
Yep.
So,
while you're doing that, I'll just roll my fate dice.
Look at that distribution,
Look at that
chat.
spread.
Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, hang on.
5, 6.
I've got my pre-game moves as well, so...
yeah, sure. I'm just gonna flip it and then you just...
Yeah, flip it to me. I've got a pre-game move of... pre-game normal move as well, so the Shroud Run is just flying up.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
If they've got a 16-inch move, I'm not bothering to absolutely measure that, but yeah. It's gonna be
You're
there.
fine. You're golden. Okay.
Yep, so I've got that for my fate dice. I'll reroll the bottom 2.
Ooh.
Nice, 2 saves. I'll just...
Yeah, getting an additional save, there's a really big deal, since especially if it looks like we're proxying out a very aggressive move from the Dune Sights here, getting those saving throws active is really strong for MooMooCow, since he's going to be able to potentially blank those Death Ray shots, D3 plus 3 damage, big laser beams on those Dune Sights. And the Doom Sights as well, focusing on Tesla Destructors, Strength 7, AP 0, which means these Aeldari and cover are going to be relatively well defended. Mostly 3+ saves across the board, although we can't forget there is a glut of command points on the side of the table for the Necrons, especially with the Silent King refunding so many of them. So we can always burn a nice solar pulse to ignore cover.
Plus 3 inch to my 2D thing.
Auras.
Or range and vengeful stars to ignore cover within half range.
Okay.
Oh, just kidding.
Remove
We're going to
plus
protocol
rune
to
because
ignore
of
cover. There you
relentless
go.
thing for the
Easy
from the
peasy.
CCP. Right. So if Eddie were to go here, he would be within 24 inches. A number of targets, I suppose. Yeah.
Janus Wildermuth, is this a strategy game? It is, yeah.
Eddie.
This is a online simulation of Warhammer 40,000, which is a tabletop miniatures game. So it's effectively a board game with slightly more complex pieces, essentially. So each of these units on the table is going to have a set of statistics that determines what it can do during your turn. And the players are going to be moving around. It is a true measurement game, so unlike a normal board game where you'd have squares or hexes or spaces on a board that you could move to, they actually just move based on the actual distance they travel. And the relationship between the models is determined by that as well, which is made very easy on the simulation because you can tell exactly how far a unit has moved. But typically, this game gets played in real life as well, on a real table with real miniatures, and the players take great pride in assembling and painting their own miniatures with their own color scheme and customizing them. A little bit harder on online, but players will still find a way. We have these custom bases here from MaxGW on his flyers. Very cool. These nice hex bases. They look very sweet.
Then we have the CCP moving up 13 inches up to here.
And by the way, chat, if you are interested in participating in not only 40K on TTS in general, but also more specifically the T5S2 circuit, you can check out tts40k.com. All of the information is there if you want to play 40K online. And if you join us in the Tactical Tours Discord, that's where we play most of these competitive games that culminate every season, every biannual season in the Invitational Tournament.
Pretty much we're going here. You just go here, you're well within range of everything. And you just go here to be in range of everything.
This poor fire prism here,
And
getting ganged up
we will
on.
have the Annihilation Barge to go up 13 inches to be here within range.
This level of aggression from the Necrons is not entirely what I was expecting. Although it makes a ton of sense, especially with how, I guess I would say mediocre the melee threat is on the Aeldari side of the table. We do have Warlocks, obviously, with their poison weapons, their Witchblades. We have the Shining Spears, who can, potentially knock out an Annihilation Barge themselves. The Striking Scorpions are okay. But generally speaking, the counterpunch from this army isn't great. I think what MooMooCow is going to be trying to do is hold back their opponent until he can deal enough damage with the Fire Prisms to be able to win the game. Although we do have Karandros over here. I should mention as well. That's important. He's an important dude. Can't forget about him. Look at this Karandros model as well, chat. Absolutely gorgeous. But that means that MaxGW is a little bit. He's not feeling quite as scared of the Eldar army. If there was a bunch of Howling Banshees or something hiding back here, I think he potentially would give them a little bit more respect. But right now, he's just going to try to push that advantage that he has going first as much as possible. And we'll see if MooMooCow is going to be able to respond in kind.
Stupid models done a bit before. But here we are. He would want to go. Where's my test model? Oh my god, we had a test model for a reason. Does nobody ever think about test models anymore? Damn it all. You just go. Did you go roughly like this here? About. Yep. So he can unlock that terrain feature and we lock that terrain feature and we bit further back, I suppose. So we have more lands here. Pretty much just touching the obscuring piece here, and then just being within the range for the man.
Mm-hmm.
Then we would have one guy being here effectively, and other one. Yeah, should have done it a bit better.
I think Max here potentially literally running out of space for his
Simply
models to be placed.
Go into the very back of the board. This about.
And we're just going to end up rocketing one Doom Scythe.
Nothing
Yeah, I
worth
think
thinking
running out of
is,
space for its base to be placed in there.
With the things.
So we're just going to use the second Doom Scythe to jump right over, get line of sight behind this building. And I do think that that's probably a pretty appropriate move, especially given the fact that the units that have line of sight to the Fire Prism, which includes, I believe, these two Triarchal Maniers, you can see them in this line right here. They're gonna be able to cut this line through these two pieces of obscuring terrain and get a line of sight into the Fire Prism. Those two Maniers firing along that line, plus 3 Annihilation Barges, and a Doom Scythe, and 2 Locust Heavy Destroyers, is probably going to be enough to kill the Fire Prism. We have ancillary guns on the Annihilation Barges, the Twin Tesla Destructors on them, as well as potentially the Silent King's weapons, although I'm not sure if he has line of sight. He is very tall, though, so I think he actually does have line of sight to these Rangers, which means that we're going to be able to peel the front objective secured from MooMooCow, and then hope for the best. And we did get these Scorpion Destroyers relatively close. Looks like to be a pretty relatively easy charge onto the Wire Weave Net Rangers. Although I can't imagine that those Scorpion Destroyers end up surviving if they make that charge, to be fair. Although they can engage a lot of stuff, potentially. We have Beheroth and Swooping Hawks as well as Shroud Runners here. And the Swooping Hawks, not units that particularly love to be engaged in melee.
Matter. Let me do this. A proper cross. And the ones with machineries that I can't see. You know what? We remember.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's like we don't have people watching. Just in case you forgot, because I'm nervous as hell. And then we have you. Stop a bit for shooting. Let's go into the clown phase. Eddie, we'll do Falling Stars. We will pick the Hawks. We don't really need these any. You can do. We do want them to be able to be shot. So yeah, we're gonna do the Shroud Runners, the Swooping Hawks, and the Blue Rangers.
Okay.
On to Blue Rangers. Oh yes.
Yep.
So dropping our unknowable cosmic energies from the Deceiver.
Hang on.
Into
Fuel
the units in the
Pains.
buildings
Take
over
one.
here.
That was the Hawks, right?
That was the Rangers.
Ability to
Rangers,
ignore
okay.
bullet wounds at a 5.
Hawks, and then the Shroud Runners. Hawks are fine. Runners. Yes. Take the 3, 4, 2. Take 2.
No, take 2.
Get those double ones out early, Chad. Right?
That is the end of his stand phase
That's
for
good.
the time being.
Mhm.
You have 2 Strands of Fate dice, haven't you? Haven't you? So, we're gonna take the pink Annihilation. There's a bit of a position there. Just moved a bit away. That is fine. The Locust Heavy Destroyer is going to shoot at the Fire Prism in the back here.
Go for it.
Okay.
Ooh, looks like we did cut
That's
some
a
lines
shot.
of sight
That's
onto
on a
the
3.
second Fire Prism as well.
Voting because of himself and the king.
Yikes.
Nope.
That's
Okay.
scary. Big
Good
downside
start.
of playing these Fire Prisms is that they are not small tanks. And so hiding them safely is a little bit tough.
This one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, -1 hit. 1 CP.
Okay. Hitting on 3s.
Oh!
Okay, reloading.
Managed to hit pretty effective
Okay.
there. Did blank one of
running
those
on
attacks.
A 3. Which gun does it be here?
Okay.
Okay. This is going perfect so far.
First shot
This
goes
is going
wide.
Perfect.
for
Let's
the
do the
Necrons.
Locust Heavy Destroyer on the Fire Prism in the back. That's on a 3. Reloading. Okay.
It's wounding on a 3.
It wounds.
Yeah.
3 damage.
It's 3d3, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Invul. Nope. Damage. You've got 4 there.
Bit of a lag. That's 9 damage.
Wow, okay.
Oof. Yeah.
Lovely.
Ooh, what a roll. Well, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster.
Let's do the this Doom Scythe.
So it looks like we did see the
It was-
Maniers totally whiff. But we did get that max damage shot from a Locust Heavy Destroyer in.
And yeah, and the big guns will go into the 5% in the front.
And we do you still have 2 automatic
So
passes
we
on
will
saving
have the
throws for
3
MooMooCow. We should
big
keep in mind.
guns hitting on 3s.
4s. That's the -1 hit one.
And reloading. Okay.
3s to wound.
Yeah, first one. And then the second one. Yeah. Right. So, 2. On your interval.
Yeah, I'll just take the 2. I'll just take the 2 auto saves there.
Okay. Cool.
And
And
uses
then
the
we have
autosaves
the
to
fantastic
blank the
shots
Doom
onto the,
Scythe.
wounded guy
Oof! Alright.
Yep.
So,
Put a
hitting
lot of work
on
into keeping
2s.
those
Rolling
heavy guns from converting.
this amount. Okay.
Yeah, I do think MooMooCow
This
is going to regret that
perfectly
positioning.
So far, it's only 2 wounds.
I certainly think he would have
no,
liked to have maybe placed one of the
3
fire
ups.
prisms back here.
No,
Made 'em both.
that's it.
Losing 1 fire prism's not the end of the world, but losing 2 could be terrible. But so far, so good. He's
Yeah.
only taken that 9 damage on the first
we're
fire
gonna do the
prism.
annihilation barge,
And we're
shooting
trying as
everything
hard as
into
we
the
can with
fire prism.
annihilation barges, but we do have the second Doom Scythe over here. We can't
Which
forget
one?
about for sure.
The pink one.
The pink one fired, right? I thought.
No, that was the Doom Scythe fired so far. And we
You had
fired
one
the-
other annihilation barge fire, didn't you? Or was that the? Oh, you
No,
did
that
the
was-
destroyer.
that
Sorry,
was
yeah,
the
the destroyers. Yeah,
target,
okay.
yeah. Cool. So the barge. Yeah, this one is on hits and 4s. 3 hits, wounding on 5s. 1 wound -3.
6 up. Made it.
10 Tesla shots.
So much bolt gun chat,
Not
for
those
sure.
Games, eh? For 12 shots, 11 hits. Wounding on 4s. This amount, maybe.
Made them all.
Oh,
Okay.
oh no!
I'm getting increasingly nervous. He blew annihilation barge.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not the alpha strike that MaxGW was hoping for.
The small gun will go into the Tesla will go into the one in
Okay.
the back. 10 Tesla shots.
On 4s.
The one that's only one in the back, the wounded one. This one
Oh,
will
the
hit on-
10 Tesla into this and then the Gauss gun in front.
Yeah, the Gauss cannon goes into hits on 4s, the others on 3s. Okay, so equals after 10 hits and wounds on 4s. This amount.
Ooh, that's a good
Okay,
conversion.
so on 3s.
And drops that fire
takes 2.
prism down to a single wound.
Down to 1.
Still alive from
Okay.
the Tesla
and
cannon.
then the
We're gonna see if the Gauss can convert on the unwounded fire prism.
4s and 5s. 2 on the
Ooh,
invul.
good roll. Both go through.
I can't see what happened.
Sorry, you missed twice. So just 4 damage. Okay. Going to do the we will have to clear you in a moment. We'll do this Doom Scythe here. We will shoot the Tesla into the fire prism, and we will shoot the big guns into this prism.
Okay.
So 3 shots onto
On
the
4s.
on 3s because my will be done.
Oh, you will be done with that one. Okay, yeah, got it.
It's a
Yay!
hit, which I'm gonna persevere to make an auto wound.
6 up. Nope, damage.
Damage is just a 4.
4.
Oh no! So we did get a shot through
And
from the
then
big gun
Tesla,
on the second Doom Scythe,
hitting on 2s.
but rolled for minimum
10
damage.
hits. Wounds on 4s.
Can we clear out this last
For
wounded
this
fire
amount?
prism?
3 ups.
Fail one. No, you failed one,
Takes 1.
And that
So
would go.
does he blow up?
please.
Nope.
I almost would have liked to have seen MooMooCow slow roll that because I think that was that last
Right, then we have the illusion annihilation
attack.
barge
Oh no, we
shooting
had one more
everything
annihilation
into
barge
the
to
fire
convert.
prism.
So it would probably not worth the command point reroll there since
5
the
shots
annihilation
with
barge
the
could just
Tesla.
fire the Gauss cannon in there. But that last couple activations,
force
finally doing some
reloading.
damage, down to 4 wounds on the fire prism. We do have, I believe, a
one
CP
extra
reroll in the bank for
Running on force.
MooMooCow.
For 5 wounds.
What else do you have to shoot?
Well, I mean, pretty much the CCB. And
Just the CCB
Gauss-
and that's it?
And the Gauss cannons.
So we're going to consider slow rolling
Okay,
here.
I'll slow roll this.
Yeah.
Passed. Fails 1. Fails 2. Pass. Pass. Takes 2.
Takes 2. Then we have the 3 shots with the Ghost. My time. Reloading. 2 hits. And come on.
Ooh, double fails.
Cool.
No techno oracular targeting
Catacomb
used, I don't believe.
Barge
So I
will
think we
go
could potentially have
and,
automatically converted one of those.
I will go into these ranges here.
But we do have to, clear out the rangers in
I
order
don't
to
even think I would
confirm
be in
control
range
of
for
that
it.
center objective. But it looks to me like I think the second fire prism is going to survive, and because we do have linked fire available to those guys, you could fire with the unwounded fire prisms profile.
Staff of Light will go into the ranges.
Oh,
So Tesla into yellow.
we do have a
Gauss
line
into
onto this
Staff
fire
of
prism.
Light.
this fire prism.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's him. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. Vortex staff goes into that. So into the ranges. Yeah, we're just gonna take that. For 6 hit. 1s and 2s. 5 wounds, AP2.
6 ups.
So
Nope,
Voltaic
did it.
Staff going ham there a little bit. Clips
And
out the
the
Ranger
Gauss
squad.
cannon.
No need for a charge because you do hull measure with
On
the
threes.
command barge. He does take the center
reloading.
objective.
What? So, yeah. I'm staying right next to him. Please. And then on 5s. Please. It's 1. 6 up.
6 up.
Nope.
No.
Ooh.
What else do you have left to shoot now? on.
Nothing.
And we
Absolutely
do
nothing. This did not go as planned.
we do convert through
Okay.
on the fire prism.
Didn't get. Thus, it's a 2.
Yeah. Does it blow up?
And that does kill the fire prism. Oh no, so the second fire prism does go down, chat.
Okay.
Able to squeak lands of sight with
Cool,
all
that
these vehicles
does
into
bring
it.
us to
Finally
charges.
kills it with, I believe, the last attack that we had
And for
available.
charge, it will be
And then here
the
comes
score
the charge
packs
into the Rangers.
into these blue ranges here.
Okay.
So on a 2+. Sorry.
Hang on. Yep, wire weave and then spend another CP to stack wire weave grenade onto the Scorpex.
Okay, that happens at the start of the fight before I declare that. So you tell me what the roll is before. That should be at the start of the fight, wouldn't it?
Sorry,
start of the draft.
what do you mean?
The strat for the short runners. It's just whether I declare. It's just whether I declare into that.
At the start of the charge phase. That's what I was saying. Hang on, I want to do.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Which is, I just want you to tell me the value. That's all.
Okay, sure. That's 2 minus 2. You take
So
2
then-
mortal wounds, and then I'll roll another for the Rangers.
Ooh.
That's what I meant. If I'm already at a -2, then I'm not gonna charge with a -4 because it makes it an 8.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry. Okay, got it.
That's pretty much the thinking here. If I already take
Yeah.
the 2 on this guy, I
Mhm.
think I would simply make you focus onto me. Focus onto me. You don't have that much here, but I'm also not in cover. Yeah, forget about that. I have to charge him anyway, so yours goes off,
Yep.
and that's the 3 mortal wounds.
Yep.
Just have to risk the 8 in this case.
Oh,
Another 3.
wow.
Lovely.
So, to elucidate what's happening there, Chant, the Shroud Runners have a Tanglefoot grenade style effect. At the start of the charge phase, they can reduce enemy units' charge for 1 CP by D3 and inflicting that many mortal wounds. The Ranger unit also has an effect, but it's only comes into play when they are targeted by a charge. So what Max wanted to see there was how much his charge was reduced by the Shroud Runner stratagem first, before he elected to run into the Wire Wave grenade. He ended up doing it, and it looks like it worked out for him because he did end up rolling a 9 to make that charge. So it should be, that we I believe can get enough guys attacking, and that should clip out that Ranger unit. But to be fair, that's not the end of the world. It does, like we talked about before, prevent the scanning on that objective, which is a pretty big deal. But I don't think, as much as MooMooCow, I'm sure, would have liked to have seen that Ranger unit survive so they could go contest the center objective. I don't think it's the end of the world that they're going to get taken out. But he does have to deal with these Scorpion Destroyers very quickly now, though. Otherwise, they will get to just wander around his backline, do a bunch of damage. And like we said before, we don't have a ton of powerful melee options here. Beheroth can do a little bit of work into them and then teleport away, potentially. But not much else on this side of the table does a ton of damage. Although we do have all of these Farseers here that can potentially be dropping mortal wounds into the Scorpic Destroyers, which is obviously one of the big downsides of Necrons, is their weakness to mortal wounds, because they actually don't get to roll their reanimation rolls if they're killed by magic mind bullets, only regular bullets.
There. That is fine. Do you want to do anything consolidation? Don't think I do. Don't think I do.
I'm Dagger in chat. What game is this? This is Warhammer 40,000 played on Tabletop Simulator. You can check out tts40k.com to find out how to join. We are playing the T5S2 seasonal invitational tournament today. So it's the end of about a 350 player circuit. And we've cut to the top 16 players. And they're going to fight it out for fun and prizes and to be crowned the best virtual 40k player in the entire world. In the entire universe, in fact, chat.
I will be back in just a moment. You just go ahead with the time. Okay.
Sure. So, command phase, movement.
So it looks like we are taking a break here for MaxGW, but we can watch MooMooCow to do his movement phase to start things off. It is quite a quandary he's been offered by the Necrons. They put an immense amount of firepower in the center of the table and said, "What are you going to do about it?" And I think the answer was to shoot at them with fire prisms that ignored invulnerable saves and had a bunch of rerolls. But the downside is that 2 of those fire prisms got blown up by Gauss cannons. So that's a little bit annoying. So the real question here is how we're going to respond. Could potentially try to move and then use a battle focus move on the ranger unit to get them onto objective 3, which should happen automatically. And all they need to do is outnumber the Catacomb Command Barge on the objective. So they are going to just have to put 2 models on there. But the other question here, as we've talked about before, is how MooMooCow is going to deal with these Scorpic Destroyers while still having enough to deal with the Annihilation Barges that are slowly moving down the table. And while at the end of the day, the Necron force in the center here isn't sort of wildly resilient. The Annihilation Barges are annoying to kill because of their transhuman effect from quantum shielding and their invulnerable save. But the Doom Sights don't have any of that protection. They just have their -1 to be hit from being an aircraft unit. But there's so much of it, and anything that commits into this area of the table is going to be just wandering into the Silent King's threat range, who will pick it up very quickly. So we're really performing a threat overload here for the Necrons. Looks like we are trying to get that Warlock Skyrunner in range of the Catacomb Command Barge, start getting those points off Psychic Interrogation. And it's also important to note, too, that if we have, we do have, I believe, a automatic 6 on a Psychic power. And MooMooCow can potentially use that to try to beat the Command Barge's leadership, meet or beat the leadership with the Psychic Interrogation, which will afford him a command point. And the benefit there is that he does have favorable divergence elsewhere in the army, on his foot Farseer, I believe, his support Farseer. But what he'd much rather be doing with that Farseer is using his offensive powers. He'd much rather be smiting at these Scorpic Destroyers to try to get rid of them.
Okay.
So if we do get a big number off on that Psychic Interrogation, that
6.
takes our CP our concerns out for a turn. So yeah, looks like this Farseer is going to be pushing up the table. Everyone's staying out of the Silent King's deny range, and he does have that 4+ deny effect, which we can't forget. Interesting stuff.
How many models do you have on that objective now?
It should be 3. This guy touching from the outside.
Okay.
All right, chat. I think we're going to run a quick break here as the players run through their movement phase. We'll come back momentarily
Putting a banner down.
with the...
You have
that in.
nothing. You have nothing there. You have Nephilim data, not banners.
What? No, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be banners. Fuck.
I mean.
Alright,
you
we'll be
said
back
Nephilim
momentarily,
data,
chat.
I literally meant to click banners. Okay, never mind. I think that's the end of the game. I literally have nothing to do in R&D with. It was really supposed to be banners.
Okay, I don't.
But anyway. Okay, Shining Spear is coming here to deal with your Doom Scythe.
Yep.
Yeah, what can I do here? Because I set up to do banners and now nothing's...
Alright, chat. So, yeah, a little bit of an awkward situation. MooMooCow thought he had picked Raise the Banners High for his secondary objective, but he had actually selected Retrieve Nephilim data.
Fine. Red's gonna do R&D.
Which is a little bit funky. So, going to be completing R&D with his Rangers. He was setting up to raise banners on the objectives in his home territory here with his units. Although, to be perfectly fair, I don't think Retrieve R&D is like a particularly... I don't think it's a controversial pick whatsoever, because he does have these swooping hawks that he can teleport around the table. So he certainly has units that can complete retrieve Nephilim data, and I have a sneaky suspicion that he would lose out on his banners pretty quickly, given that he is against OBSEC Necrons. It's going to be a question mark whether or not he can deal with all of the annihilation barges that are bearing down on him, and if he can't, they can pop over these walls and just start clearing off the units on his home objectives, and thereby remove his banners very quickly. Whereas if he's able to get 3 table quarters for retrieve Nephilim data, which I think is actually a pretty... I think it's pretty likely, I'm going to be honest, chat. Then
Can I put shots?
Things get...
Blocks me from shooting the barge.
It's probably similar to the score that he would expect to get on banners, if I were to extrapolate things a little bit.
3 of your models, if you want to.
Okay. So I could shoot him with 3 of them.
Yeah.
Going there. Farsier moved up there. The fire prism, I guess, is just going to zoom up here. Really, why not? Scorpions. What do I want to do with the scorpions? You. Quantum shielding is also in close combat, right?
Yes.
So the downside of the melee threat that MooMooCow has on this top objective is that he doesn't quite have... The striking scorpions are much more effective at fighting against infantry. So he doesn't quite have the punch that he wants against a vehicle, since they're just regular strength 5 or strength 4 dudes for the most part. Although against the quantum shielding, having super high strength doesn't matter so much, but I'm sure he'd rather have something like Howling Banshees in this situation. Yeah, I don't believe he has Crushing Blows on the Exarch either, which would automatically wound. That would get around Quantum Shielding very nicely. But it looks like we are going to be pushing Karandras and the Striking Scorpions forward. I do think that there is a potential here for Karandras to, especially with the Resurrection stratagem for Phoenix Lords, to survive a turn and get multiple turns of attacking. And if Karandros can convert highly and start clipping out these vehicles, we can potentially see MooMooCow make a comeback on this side of the table. But it is a little bit unlikely, since he's going to have to survive a lot of Necron aggression. Did I house roll against resurrecting Miniers? I did not. No. The Miniers are to be played rules as written, which is that they can be brought back by a Technomancer. That said, there are a lot of restrictions on the Technomancers that can bring back Miniers. It has to either be a Saracen Technomancer or be a Luminor Seraz. And so I think that there are a lot of arguments against trying to build to resurrect the Miniers. You know, there's a lot of situations where the Silent King has to put himself in such an aggressive position that your opponent doesn't do any damage to him until he's dead. And since he's so difficult to engage into, oftentimes that's how the gameplay works for Silent King, is that he'll wander around the table, your opponent will try to play the avoidance game against him because the minions are so powerful.
Okay.
And then once he exposes himself, your opponent will go all in to kill him, and he'll just be killed full to death in one turn. And in that situation, spending a bunch of points on the Luminor Seraz and trying to warp your list around resurrecting minions isn't that useful. Although Seraz is a really good unit by himself, to be fair. So I think we have to see a really strong.
Going with focus will.
We have to see a super strong turn from MooMooCow here. He's certainly way far behind. Losing 2 fire prisms, which are his big anti-tank against an army composed almost entirely of tanks, is really brutal. So we're hoping for the dice here. Going to be focus willing.
Then going with Fateful Divergence. No, just smite into your Scorpix.
Yeah, and then we're going to go for a smite, and we're going to try to get that CP regen off of the Psychic Interrogation, which I think makes sense. Makes the focus will having to cast first on the Fateful Divergence guy is a little bit awkward.
No, I'm just thinking.
But we're going to be maybe placing it on the Ghost Helm of Al-Shazir guy. While the Ghost Helm's effect to make the Psychic power undeniable
going on the
is affected by,
I think.
or isn't affected by the bonuses to cast, since it is a natural cast.
I'll just do it.
The
goes off
CP regen is affected by bonuses.
Okay, and then so the Farseer Skyrunner next is going to Executioner the Scorpix.
Oh, so it looks like we did just cast Fateful Divergence, and we're just going to be putting the
focus well on the Skyrunner. Kills one. Well, let's see what I roll.
To potentially.
Yep, just kills that first one, and then D3 for the second. Another one.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that was the.
Yeah, that was the. Yeah, and then that does. Yeah, he's down to 2. Okay. Then he will smite the Scorpix there.
Okay.
Goes off with a 10. D3 for 2 kills the second one.
This is Ulthway, chat. We're playing an Ulthway.
Okay, do I want to spend a CP here?
That would be at the start of the phase feature.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, forget it. These Skyrunners here are going to smite the Scorpix first of all. Goes off. D3 for 2. And then they will jinx them, I think. Actually, I'll try and cast jinx and then see what I get. Goes off with an 8. Yeah, just go on then.
Jinx there, yeah.
Okay, the Warlock Skyrunner there is going to interrogate the command barge. Yeah, it goes off. Okay. Psychic. Okay, done. Cool. Shooting. Let's go with the Swooping Hawks first into the Scorpix Destroyers. I think. Should I clean that up? No, I'll start with the fast CS Skyrunner, just chucking 4 shots.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
3 hits. Reroll 1 full toy. That's a wound, AP minus 3, and then on yours. Cut straight through. Oh, you got cover.
6 up. Oh, wait. Yeah, cover. So 6 up in the dice.
So, reanimation.
Yes, sir. Nope. Nothing.
Nope. Okay. The Skyrunner here, putting shots into the skull pack.
So far, so good. The first thing that MooMooCow needed to accomplish was to take care of these Scorpec destroyers, and so far he's done a good job at that. Clipped most of the unit out with psychic powers, now doing some significant damage with the shooting. But that is only one of the many problems that MaxGW is presenting to him.
Here, I think 2 of them can see. So 8 shots.
Yeah, just fine.
Yeah, if we saw that seen that reanimation, it could have been pretty awkward for sure, chat.
Okay,
but to be fair, you need 3 5-ups in a row to do that, which is a little bit tough. It's a 1 in 27.
Take 2.
And it's unlikely that any of these units, beyond maybe the Fire Prism, actually clips 2 full Scorpion Destroyers in one shot anyway. But we do have 1 remaining, and I think we have Behareth here who can probably kill a single
Fire Prism
Scorpion Destroyer.
putting the big shots into the Doom Scythe. Shuriken catapults into the skull pack.
Okay.
Just going to try to see if we can clip it with the little guns here. The aircraft are unaffected by the obscuring keyboard, so we can fire through the edge of the building here to fire at him. Oh no, but we rolled terribly.
Not rolling anything. The 2 shots from the Fire Prisms into the Doom Scythe. Take 1. Burn a hit roll there, and then roll the other one. 2 hits into the Doom Scythe. Wounding on 2s. Both wound.
Damage.
3d3 for the first one. That's 3, 4, 5, 6.
6, 4.
And then the second one.
Oh, there it goes. Look at that Fire Prism go, chat. This guy's just like, Locust Heavy Destroyers, eat your heart out. This is what a real 3d3 damage gun looks like. 1 shots the Doom Scythe. Oh, could you imagine 3 of those on the table, chat? Incredible. Good stuff. Well, that's a pretty strong conversion, and we have enough melee here to kill that last Scorpic Destroyer, like we talked about. The Shining Spears could potentially knock out the Doom Scythe, and we could potentially kill an Annihilation Barge with the melee in the center. I do think that the Shroud Runners Rangers are going to try to kill the Catacomb Command Barge, who did, I think, see if we got a big Jinx to reduce his armor save against the Scatter Lasers, which would have been nice.
Yep, 2 wounds.
That seems a little bit unlikely that we're going to kill a Command Barge through with that amount of shooting, but certainly worth a shot. And if we spike pretty high and are able to get that guy, this turn's actually not looking too bad for the Asuryani.
2 shots. 1 hit.
Imagine Space House having better anti-tank. Space House or Aeldari have, and to my memory, have always had, I think, some of the game's best anti-tank. Whether it was back in the day, Dark Reapers or Lynxes. They've always had Bright Lances. All that those profiles have been really good. And even just Hail of Doom, knocking out vehicles that are T7 or lower, has always been really strong.
6 shots.
Yes. 4 shots.
Oh, sorry. Yes, 4 shots. That's do that again. Okay, 3 hits. 3 wound. That's 2 wounds. AP minus 2.
Yep.
So 6 ups again.
5 up. Yep, does anyway.
Yep. Okay, that's that. And does he die now, or?
Here goes the Scorpic.
End the morale phase. Okay.
Plasmacite's still sitting there, which is annoying the Shroud Runners because it is blocking shots onto the Catacomb Command Barge.
Swooping Hawks just dumping everything into the Doom Scythe there. I gotta do this separately. So 4 shots from the Exarch. On 3s. Okay, 2 wounds.
Oh yeah, of course. Then 3 ups. It's fine.
Good. And then the 16 shots from the normal guys on 4s. Okay, and then those are wounding on 5s. So reroll 1 fault away. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's true, chat. Yeah, I can't. You can't forget D-cannon platforms for sure when you're talking about anti-tank. So the game's sort of premier anti-tank weapon. Just a big black hole gun that turns you inside out and shoots through walls. What a weapon.
So can get you. So the sniper's into you, and okay. Okay, the scatter lasers are gonna go into the annihilation barge there.
Okay.
Actually, no, the blue one on the objective, I think. Sniper rifles into the catacomb command barge.
Okay.
So the awkward part about splitting our fire here is that if unless the sniper rifles deal sort of a ridiculous amount of damage, and we do have the rangers that can follow up as well potentially if we need it. If we only do a little bit of damage to the command barge, he's gonna start healing it with Necrodermis. So the chip damage into Necron armies isn't super useful. You really want to be firing everything into them to try to remove entire units, because otherwise you're just going to start passively getting wounds back.
Okay, into the catacomb command barge on 2s. Ugh. Okay, and then... Oh, okay, 2 wounds.
So 3 ups. Takes 1.
Takes 1. Then the 24 minus 6, 18 into the annihilation barge. 2s. And then 4s. Yeah, that many on your 3 up.
Take 3.
Take 3.
So that's good chip. Should put him into a good
position
to get killed by the striking scorpions. And I think
then
the
the
hope
sniper
is
rifles all into the catacomb.
Karandras can clip out the second annihilation barge, and then just hope against hope that we roll a bunch of 6s on our Strands of Fate dice, and he can survive the coming turn. If he does that, I can maybe kill another vehicle by himself then. Or maybe back in the fight, but we'll see.
Rangers putting the shots into your catacomb command barge as well.
This is a lot of
3s this time.
Committal into the
Okay, and
CCB.
then this is probably where I use my wound. Nah, actually. Yeah. Wound roll. Yeah, use the wound roll. Yes. So that's 1/6 for mortal wound, and then pre-roll for ulti. Nope, just 1.
1 4 up.
Nurgle man, I want to
Takes
give
2.
you a shout out for being in both chats simultaneously.
The Karandras is shooting at the barge.
Truly, the patron god of Warhammer streaming, able to be in multiple places at once. Truly incredible.
2s, and then 5s. 1.
So we do
Nothing.
lasting damage to the command barge.
Scorpions are putting the pistol shots into your...
I'm not going to be able to heal all of the wounds dealt to him. Although, to be fair, I don't know how incentivized Max is to play aggressively with the command barge.
Wait, hang on,
since he can kind of just
and only 2 of them have
play
pistols.
super aggro with Silent King right now and clear the middle with him. And the command barge could pull back, sit protected by Lookout Sir, and heal back to full
Yeah,
before he
both hit.
extends himself. But it might honestly not matter, to be fair,
Reroll
to Max.
Nope.
And didn't you use your 5 for the sniper?
Sure, yep, I did.
Okay.
Okay, done. Okay, so charges. Shining Spears into the Doom Scythe.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to Overwatch, yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Okay,
Overwatch
6
from the
inches.
Doom Scythe.
So, just on my time.
That is
that was the-
something that you often see Necrons doing is overwatching kind of frivolously, because they often at times have so many command points to spend that they end up having to put it somewhere. And the Overwatches is a good sync for that.
Yep. And then the Scorpions into the barge as well.
So it looks like only trying to kill a single Annihilation Barge here.
And sorry, I am not basing you there.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think maybe electing to try to get Karandras into Objective 3 in order to get Objective secured there. Did we
So
not
that's
battle focus
11.
with this Ranger squad? I don't know about that, chat. Might have been a little bit of a misplay. And striking Scorpions pushing forward. I wonder if we may be trying to get in contact with the Locust Heavy Destroyer, so that we could potentially reveal the command protocol to fall back and shoot. Which is an option that Necrons can pull out at any time.
No. Not engaging you yet. Okay. So that's the. Do I want to charge?
Nergalmat is the real OG, the original game viewer of Online Warhammer. Watching every stream. I imagine Nurgle Matthews' lair is oh yeah, there you go. MooMooCow calling it out that he didn't put those guys in the objective.
I will activate Karandras first.
Look, it's fine by me.
MaxG offering the take back.
By the way, the spears.
Sorry. Oh yeah, they charged. I rolled a 4.
Oh, sorry, they charged already in. Oh, that's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to overwatch. Oh, sorry, I was confused. I thought you were talking about Karandras.
No.
At that point.
Okay, so you wanted to overwatch the spears? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. But, so 3 shots with the big gun. 6s. Okay, and then the Tesla. 10 shots. Come on. 6s.
Oh no! Chat. So Overwatch from the Shining Spears goes absolutely ham on the, into the Shining Spears goes absolutely ham from the Doom Scythe.
No repeat.
Look at that.
Okay.
Rolled 4 6s triplicate because of the because of the Tesla ability, and just wipes 2 Shining Spears on the Overwatch. Oh no! The Shining Spear Exarch does have the Paragon Saber Hard Strike combo, so he could potentially knock out the Doom Scythe with Mortal Wounds because of his full rerolls, but
6 attacks.
Looking significantly less likely now without the laser lances from his 2 buddies. Oh, that was horrible. But that is why you just take those Overwatches if you are playing a Necron player. Or if you are as a Necron player. For 1 CP, given the opportunity to kill a couple of enemy models before they come in to swing at you is a big deal. Oh, what a shot.
Because you're transhuman anyway, so there's no point.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try and give it a 4.
4? Okay, yeah.
Maybe
so that's just the 3 exploding, right?
Yeah, you didn't explode any. Like you don't get mortal wounds anyway, so you can.
Yep. So and then on 4s.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. That's
underswing from the Scorpions into the Annihilation Barge.
Good. And text you.
Take. Okay, and then consolidate and connect.
Oh, that was Karandras. Oh no.
Yeah.
So Karandras not.
You mind? I forgot to battle focus this guy forward.
That's what I meant. I was alright with it. As in,
sorry.
Yeah, you just go. I was alright with it.
Oh, okay, sure.
Is it? I think you're perfectly free. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. 5. Okay, thank you.
Wow. Let's talk about some sportsmanship here, chat.
I don't think it's going to change very much, but
MooMooCow had planned to put the Rangers on the objective to confirm the contesting from the Catacomb Command Barge, and then also put Karandras in there to make it more difficult to take back on the subsequent turn, because you'd have to then kill Karandras in order to actually remove objective secured from the objective, and that's a little tough. But he forgot to make his battle focus move. Max did tell him earlier in the turn that he was okay with him taking it back and making that battle focus move. But now that Karandras had failed to kill this Annihilation Barge so that his Consolidate was restricted, having to move closer to the Annihilation Barge that he was in melee with, he could not have gone to the objective. And MooMooCow realizing that could potentially give up a 12-point turn. But given that Max is okay with allowing him to move on to the objective, Max said, no, it's fine, dude. Go for it.
So 2 AP minus 2 damage.
All right, we'll see if the Annihilation Barge goes down to the X-Arc swings here with the 2 damage attacks. It did Quantum Shield for reinforced Quantum Shielding for a 4+ invulnerable save.
Okay, and then the 1, 2, 3,
Makes
4,
both
the
of those.
rest.
We'll see if we can kill it with the chain swords. But this is this has gone very south. This fight phase has, or the charge phase at least, has been super brutal for MooMooCow. I do wonder if there was a position there that Karandras could have used
there's more than that.
used the Piling Consolidate Orbit to get towards the purple Annihilation Barge.
Yep.
And then onto the objective. Would have been maybe a little bit tough, though. And I don't know if he would have been able to attack afterwards, to be fair.
That's an exploding hit. And then 5s again. And I rerolled full to already, so that's just 2.
Next one.
Takes 1. And then the Shining Spear. I will really need a spike hard on this, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Ooh,
Wait, no, you've got -1 hit, so.
I do not know. That's only against rage attacks. Supersonic. Yeah. Had to
No,
hit
I rolled a 1 anyway, right? So.
Yeah.
And then 5s, rerolling everything. Nope, just 1, and that's so it's. No,
so the Shining Sphere X-Arc swings into the Doom Scythe for only 2 damage. He had 5 attacks with full rerolls, but only strength 4. He's pushing for 5s, although 6s do mortal wounds on top because of that hard strike ability. But the benefit of the Paragon Saber is that you get full rerolls to hit and wound. So we're fishing for wounds that would have converted into additional mortal wounds. The downside there is that if you just don't roll any of those with your reroll, it was going to be a little bit tough. Now, he did have 5 attacks with full rerolls. Could have converted into 4 wounds that would have converted into 8 total damage because of the mortal wounded addition. But we were hoping for a lot there, and I think realistically we wanted the Shining Spheres not to get absolutely murdered in their. In that Overwatch. And it looks like the Annihilation Barge survives as well. So what was looking like a potential comeback from the Elves here, we did one-shot that Doom Scythe over there. We were setting up to clip out another Doom Scythe and maybe 2 Annihilation Barges, potentially Catacomb Command Barge has fallen down a little bit. We did get rid of the Scorpic Destroyers on the bottom left-hand side of the table that were threatening Objective 1, so that's clear. And there's not too much that's threatening that Objective now. We do have some Tomb Blades over here that could potentially go up and touch it, but to be fair,
actually, no, I don't.
we are protecting the objective with Behareth, so I think if those Tomb Blades were to jump over the wall and get onto the objective, they would be heroically intervened by Behareth, who's projecting a 3-inch intervention aura somewhere around the center of the objective. So objective 1, relatively safe. I guess there is a sliver that we could potentially contest through the wall, so there is a little bit of safety there. Behareth, I think, was probably planning on charging to kill that Scorpic Destroyer, but we didn't end up needing it because he got killed by the Fire Prism guns. Look at these cool effects on this friggin' Farseer over here.
Okay.
This sassy Farseer chilling on her ruin. Okay. That's a cute model, chat.
Alright, I think. So let's take a quick peek here. It's not really here. Really there. Do we want to swap anything in? Is the big one. How many CP do you have? You have 4 CP. Huh. I didn't spend anything on the fella. I think we could just.
Yeah, good CP saving here for MooMooCow. There's a lot of CP to spend to potentially lightning fast reactions himself. We basically need MooMooCow to put his trust in the heart of the dice. We want to save a CP probably to resurrect Karandras. I think, to be fair as well. Although it's likely that Karandras gets killed in the shooting phase and then resurrected and killed by Silent King in melee. That does force Silent King forward. Although there's not too much that can take advantage of an aggressive position from him.
Yeah, I rolled it there. Yeah.
Yeah, good. 6 2 5s 1 4 1 2.
And we did start to see these
Right, so
Necron units healing. Looks like we did
that is
pull
also
the
fine.
double
14,
heal on Dying
6
Legion.
should be
Yeah, for the
expanded,
additional
probably should
living
just
metal
fucking
healing
run it
wound.
back here.
So reducing a ton of the damage that
This is, we're just gonna have this one model.
MooMooCow is able to do. In fact, removing all of the damage that this Shining Sphere unit did to this Doom Scythe. What a heartbreaker, chat. Hard strike, more like heartbreak. Am I right? Sad. Oh boy. Well, we'll see how we do. Maybe this Fire Prism just converts all of its attacks to the rest of the game. And kills everything that it shoots at. It looks like we are going to be poking a Locust Heavy Destroyer at that thing. The efficiency of this anti-tank shooting from the Locust Heavy Destroyer is just insane. It's a lot of damage. It's high variance. You know, one shot, strength 10 can easily fail to hit or fail to wound or roll low damage, although 3d3 is relatively consistent. But when you remember the fact that that model is 50 points, that single Locust Heavy Destroyer is basically, it's like worth kind of the same as like this entire unit of Rangers, basically. With that huge gun. What a unit. And has objective secured thanks to the sub-action ability. Absolutely gorgeous.
You
Worth
are
less than the
minus
Ranger
what to
unit, in fact, I
hit with a bit of stuff.
Are they broadsides? Basically, chat. Their broadsides with their ballistic skill is better. Can you imagine? Incredible.
Okay, the question. Not from over here. Could be it's here somewhere. Nope, that doesn't work. So we'll just kill Shroud Runners. Oh, we never came back to Eddie. I do have 2 CP. That is honestly not worth it. That is just not worth it. So a 12 from this guy here. It's just here. Would it be worth it? No, you're banking on it.
Yeah, I think maybe trying to swap out a power on the Deceiver
so
to get a...
still needs something to take
a
down.
meteor, I think, to clip into the Shroud Runners for 3 mortals.
This is
And try to kill that wounded guy.
These guys.
The price is worth it when you reanimate a whole destroyer on a hot roll. Yeah, for sure. That is, to be fair, only when you take big destroyer units. But reanimating destroyers is always, it does always feel really good. Right now we're just playing individual singletons, which I think every Necron list is going to be starting with for the most part. Basically, yeah, I have a tough time imagining that there are situations where you don't just begin a list spending 150 points on 3 Locust Heavy Destroyers, unless you're out of the heavy support slots, which is certainly oftentimes the case.
I don't think you can place it up there.
I mean, it's pretty much the physics of the well that make it.
Yeah, no, there's a tag on
the terrain says, yeah.
The terrain.
Oh,
Yeah, you can
okay.
only place on the bottom level. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. That is fine. That is fine.
Yeah, just as that is a little bit of a house rule, chat. Effectively, we don't allow any 3-dimensional terrain placement in the T5S2 map pool, just because it cleans up the game quite a bit. Looks like we are going to strategic reserve that Doom Scythe. It looks like, yeah, just run him right off the table. See ya. There's a cool ability that aircraft have. If they're in a tight spot, instead of just being killed because of their as a result of their minimum movement, they actually will just fly off the table and strategic reserve themselves. And unlike normal strategic reserves, where they're thank you, chat, where their placement is restricted by outflanking off the table edge, aircraft in strategic reserve actually just deep strike, place outside 9 inches of enemy models anywhere on the table. The most effective part there is it actually gives them an opportunity to turn around and make another strafing run, so they can use it to reorient themselves, because they can now choose a new facing once they redeploy onto the table. Is there a war going on in the soundboard right now, chat? Oh, it's Dr. Doots. I see how it is. Doots in there with soundboard manipulation. Dude's playing a game tonight. I hope you're ready for that game, chat. Yeah! I think that's going to be a good one. Yeah. And for those wondering, if you are in the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/TacticalTortoiseTV, yeah, you go over to the, if you mouse over the stream, on the right-hand side, there's a little sound alerts button. You too can make use of the soundboard if you so desire. Gotta watch out for that 2-inch engagement range there, bud. Yeah, those rangers screen you out. I do like that. I think that's a really appropriate use of the 2-inch engagement range on MooMooCow side of the table, because this ranger's going to be projecting a 2-inch denial zone where nobody can stand.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest and there you go, chat. One of the weirdest and
Are you 1 inch extra?
Die, scum!
most. I lost my word, chat. Oh, that's so embarrassing.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Most counterintuitive effects of the obscuring engagement range change is that it actually makes it much more difficult to. It makes it easier to charge into buildings, but more difficult to engage into buildings, because your enemy models also constantly project a 2-inch denial zone you can't go into. That makes it oftentimes in situations like these where you have an objective that is centered on area terrain, it makes it potentially possible to literally screen out the entirety of the objective with your engagement range. So if you are playing an army that is not focused on melee and you have very few melee attacks, it can actually be almost impossible, or very difficult at least, to contest enemy objectives without charging. It's one of the reasons I think that rules change was so controversial. Not to mention the fact that there's some fight phase movement chicanery you can accomplish with it, but also just the weirdness of trying to move models around when you have to be worried about this engagement. Yeah, there we go again. The striking scorpion here, projecting this huge bubble that you can't stand on, and really restricting where this annihilation barge can go, and especially a model that's as compositionally weird as an annihilation barge is. Trying to keep that distance in mind is a little bit awkward. Now, we are affected by the Silent King's +1 movement, because they are relentless marching inside the Silent King's aura, I believe. So they are going a little bit farther than normal. I'm getting some lines of sight to that poor Shining Spear Exarch. That guy does not deserve the fate that he's about to receive. But we have to keep in mind, chat, a common adage that I really like is that as long as you have an invulnerable save, the game's not over. And Ulthway, fortunately for MooMooCow here, Ulthway do have a universal 6+ invulnerable save. So I think this is a lot of Necron firepower bearing down on his meager forces. We have a bunch of Eldar Rangers here trying to hold the line against the Silent King himself. But all they have to do is put their faith in their 6+ invulnerable save and roll nothing but 6s. And then the game will be theirs. And I think we're going to call that Plan A.
Bit of crap. This objective here. Extra damage, and this locust here does want to go into Karandras. So refuge. He just goes over here. I think that puts him closer. Then again, once this model dies, it will be this guy closest, isn't it? Yeah. So once that model dies, it would be Karandras that is the closest.
Yeah, chat, it's 3 annihilation barges and a Catacomb command barge. The command barge is the one without the cannons on it.
Alright. So this one. You dice. So one here. One here. This one, and then we have this one. Alright, let's go. And is that too close, or otherwise you can just move
Slightly, yeah, no, it's I get what you mean. I get what you were trying to do. It's fine.
Okay. Right, let's go into shooting. You do have cover here. They would have a 3-up save right now. They would have a 3-up save.
So I think considering a solar pulse, potentially try to get rid of this ranger unit and confirm control of that objective. Although the striking scorpions do have objective secured until Karandras is dead.
To remove cover from these people.
Yeah, so there's the solar pulse. I just also going to remove their camouflage.
Oh, so we do have the stun phase. But remember, these guys do not have cover. Stun phase. Eddie, And good old Eddie will go with the 24. Oh, idiot. That's fine. We're gonna pick the Rangers, Scorpions, and the Shroud Runner for the class. On the Shroud Runner, 3. Yes. For D3. 4, 3. Okay. 6, 2. Then we have the Scorpions on a 4. Nope. And then we have the Rangers. A 4, yes. 4, 2. There's one.
Takes one.
And then we are gonna test our leadership. It's gonna be a leadership test between Eddie and the Shroudrunners here. So we test the leadership. I rolled a d6 for a 6, which is a 16 total value. Okay. And you have leadership 8.
Yep, so
7?
I take 4.
7, so that would be 11. So the difference between
7?
those is you've.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah, so that would be 11. So at 16 to 11 is what 5. So 5 mortals.
Ooh,
Okay.
look at
Take
that
2.
saving throw.
Kills one at the back.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Deceiver ripping into the Shroud Runners. Still one alive on the objective, though.
Then we're gonna go into the shooting phase proper. The annihilation barge going into
Yep,
the
without cover.
Rangers game. Exactly. Yeah. So we would have the Tesla. -1 with a +1, so hitting on 3s. Okay. For 8 hits. Wounding on 2s. Oh, only 5 wounds on a 5-up. Okay, kills 4
Take
so
4.
far. Then we have the Gauss Cannon. Hitting on 3s. Okay, and wounding on 2s. 1 wound on your Invul.
Nope,
Hit him.
dead.
Okay,
So the one Annihilation Barge able to remove the Ranger unit on the objective.
then we are
Not yet
gonna
taking control of the
go
objective,
with
though, because the Striking
the,
Scorpions are still there. But I imagine the Catacomb Command Barge is going to charge on
CCB
and
here.
take it back.
Yep, CCB here is going to go blasting into the Exarch.
Which one? The CCB.
Oh, the red one, yeah, the CCB.
Okay.
Going into the Chainspear Exarch.
Can
With
he?
everything.
Oh, he's touching terrain, is he?
He's on the terrain feature, and then it just goes around here.
Yeah. Okay.
Or would you have needed to turn differently?
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. Okay.
go through. Okay, go. So 4 attack with the Voltaic Staff. -1. So his
stay strong, little Shining Spear Exarch. Remember the game plan. You have to make all your invulnerable saves.
I think we're just gonna take that, and then wounding on 3s. These only 4.
On my 4-up, Shimmer Shield. Made them both.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a good start.
See. Gauss Cannon. Re-rolling. Okay. And on 3s. 2 wounds on the Invul.
Okay, let's see. 4-up. No. Could kill him.
3.
Yeah, just roll for the damage.
Alright,
Okay.
I'm gonna see if he dies to the D3 shotgun. Only a single wound. I wonder if we CP
Second
reroll
round.
on Max's side.
No.
Saved it.
God damn it all.
Does not kill him, so we might have to dedicate an Annihilation Barge to remove
you
that
have one
model.
wounded guy here.
Since
so
I
this
don't
guy just
believe
dies.
we have any other shots.
No, yeah, they both died. That one died to.
Okay. No, I misunderstood. They look so dark. I go. Locust Server Destroyer just going into the Shroud Runner.
Yep.
It's on a 3.
Really, what we're
One's
hoping
on
for,
two.
Chad, is that this Shining Spear Exarch avenges
Lovely.
his fallen Cam and
Um,
his terrible last turn and just starts blowing up Annihilation Barges left and right
Into him.
with that cool Mortal Wound combo.
And probably also into him. Let's do the Tomb Blades. The Tomb Blades will go into the Rangers here, is likely the best. Could also just remove these quickly. Hopefully, maybe. You wanna make sure though. Multi-damage attacks doesn't really matter too much. We can just do the King. The King will put the 2 men here into the Shroud Runners. Then he will put the Scepter. Cavandra's. Kind of forgot about that guy. He has a 2-up save, doesn't he?
Yep.
Right. So that is a bit.
Stay
awkward.
strong, Candyman. We believe in you, buddy.
Okay, we have to do slightly differently. We're gonna do the Annihilation Barge. We're gonna put all of our Tesla going into these ranges here, and it's gonna be the Gauss Cannon going into the striking Scorpions here.
Okay.
So Gauss Cannon will hit on A2, 0+1, and wounds on A2. 2 wounds -3, and D3 damage each.
This is into the Scorpions. So 5 ups.
On the guys in cover. Or which ones?
Yep, well, the guys in cover. Well, they got 5 up in vault anyway, but on
Yeah.
kills one.
And we have the Tesla. On yeah, we don't reroll, but against the Rangers, we just get 2s or extra, and wounding and 2s. For this amount here, 5 ups.
Sorry, this is on the ranges, right?
It's on the pink Rangers in the center, yeah. Okay.
Did.
Okay. Then we have the. Yeah, it's simply gonna be the king putting the 2 Menhirs into the Shroud Runner, and everything else just goes into Karandras.
Okay.
So 2 Menhirs into the Shroud Runners on 2s, and on 2s. Okay. 1 the invasive.
Silent King
Sorry.
still not able to
1
entirely
into
convert
the
his
into
attacks.
Karandras or
The Shroud Runners. That was
Shroud
a
Runners,
Menhir
okay.
Shroud Runners, yeah.
Runner. Okay. 6 up. Nope, it's dead.
There's a guy. Okay. Right.
We do have a convert,
then it's gonna be
or we're still
all the
contested in the center
Karandras.
objective since there's no objective secured there.
Three
Although the
attacks with
Catacomb
the,
Command Barge could potentially get back in there.
The thing. The Scepter. 2s and 2s. These on the invul. Takes 2 damage.
So Plinks
Then the 9 shots with the
Karandras,
stave.
but not, I believe,
Some
for
2
his face
rerolling.
cap wounds yet.
1's and a 3. This on the invul.
Somebody one's rolled for Silent King,
Takes 2
Nope.
wounds, I
and
think.
there is the phase capped wound. So he's down. He's taken 3. We're gonna try to kill
then
him in
we
the
will
fight
have
phase,
the
but that does
Annihilation
mean
Barge
that he
Shooting all
could
of
potentially
this stuff.
resurrect and get another turn of
Shooting
fighting.
the
Although to be fair, he doesn't really
half.
want to be attacking into Silent King because the Silent King does make him fight last, so it could potentially kill him a 3rd time to actually put him down for real. So he wants to be attacking these other units.
that would be enforced.
But with Silent King in the center of the table, he could potentially project his an engagement range over the
5 extra hits.
entirety of Objective 3 if he's able to get a charge and pile and consolidate over the center of the objective. In that case, there's no way that
6-1.
you can contest that objective without walking into Silent King's heroic intervention range.
Great.
You do have to be one of the most important skills when playing Silent King is placing his minions correctly, because his minions actually don't project a lot of those auras, including his fight last. And I believe also his heroic intervention. The heroic intervention only triggers if he himself is within 3 of you. So, but placing the minions in the back here so that there's no way your opponent can engage into them without touching the Silent King is
so I
a
can
pretty
move
big
this
deal.
Still good.
Didn't you
Well,
take
we
the
technically I got a 5 up in Vol, right? So I'll just.
Yeah, yeah. but
No,
then
he
you
makes
take
it.
the-
Okay, so he's fine.
Okay, made it. Okay. Lovely. So who did you take? Who did you take it on?
That one.
That one.
What I was measuring was the 2-inch from base to base, which seems to be it. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do the Locust Heavy Destroyer over there, shooting into the fire prison. A shot. It's a hit. You do have a 6 in your repertoire, but it would also
Yep.
be nice to just kill Karandras. We're gonna do this normally, so in 3. No, of course
Nope.
it failed.
Sorry, just give me a second. My kid woke up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, chat. Yeah, it also it counts as the minions as not as characters, right? So that anything that would affect characters does not affect them, which is good. Although it is a character unit, so anything that affects a character unit affects everything in the unit. But the minions themselves are not eligible for interventions. The other interesting the reason that otherwise is impactful is obviously the Silent King himself has his obsolescence generators to make you fight last, but only if you're engaging him, the Silent King himself. If the Maniers are strung out far enough, you can actually engage the Maniers without getting the Silent King in range. And because of Sarek's special rule, the Maniers have to be assigned damage before the Silent King does himself. Meaning that if you're alpha striking him and the only models you can engage are the Maniers died first. Which means that the Necron player is effectively forced to pull Silent King out of engagement range, or to pull the unit out of engagement range with you. Which means that there's a significant situation, or a very common situation where the Silent King gets engaged, his Maniers die, and he's not able to attack you back. And that's another reason that the position of the Maniers is really important.
One Tomb Blade into the Scorpions, and you will go onto the Shroud Runner. So 12 shots onto the Shroud Runner. 2 shots. 12 shots hitting on 3s. Reloading. And wounding on 3s. For this amount of 4-ups.
So it looks like we do just barely clip out the last Shroud Runner in the
then
center.
We have the 6 attacks on the Scorpions. That one hit. For 5 wounds.
Using these the massive number of attacks from the Tomb Blades.
Okay.
To try to knock out these Aeldari infantry.
Exactly.
But I believe we still have an Annihilation Barge to fire into the Shining Spear Exarch to try to get rid of it. I don't believe that we fired all of them yet.
Failed, okay. I think I'll just take it on the gun cover.
Yeah, so looks like we are going to be electing to pull, or to save on the last striking Scorpion here, which is important because, again, they are objective secured currently. So if Karandras survives, you could potentially keep objective secured on this objective, although you have to remember that all the Necron vehicles are OBSEC right now.
And just in case this matters, we're just going to put... just quickly roll this one. So I don't think I can fail, but just in case, 1-8.
And it looks like the Shining Spear Exarch does actually survive. Now this Annihilation Barge I don't believe has the opportunity to charge because it did fall back this turn, and while it did shoot with Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant, it's not eligible to charge, only make ranged attacks.
Okay, then we're gonna pick the CCB. Just gonna
come Command Barge, probably, gonna try to get on that objective so that even if the Striking Scorpions survive, they're gonna be... the Necrons are gonna be controlling the objective.
New, engagement range.
Yep.
And there's a 2-inch engagement range coming into play here. Interestingly, not measuring engagement range to Karandras, since the closest point of the models is not through the obscuring terrain. But we are measuring the 2-inch engagement range to the Striking Scorpion, so he doesn't have to get quite as close. And if that Striking Scorpion survives, actually could potentially not be in engagement range of the remainder of the unit.
Go. Alright. That's it. We're gonna do Stab at the King. We're going to put the... Oh, is that fun? Or do I have to... I think that is fun. 1.4. We're gonna put the... You need to kill Karandras. So we're gonna put the damage 3 attacks into you. And... gonna put the regular mini attacks and the small attacks into the Scorpion. And we're gonna put... 6. Yeah, we're gonna put 6 attacks into Karandras as well.
Oh, okay.
For regular Scepter attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, might as well. -1 to hit on Karandras.
Yeah, so importantly, Silent King gives himself, because of his own auras and his newly found core keyword, he gives himself rerolls to hit with ranged attacks, but not with melee attacks. He's only rerolling his wounded here. So the and there we do see a wound reroll. So that -1 to hit from Karandras is actually going to be a pretty big deal.
Okay, one at a time then.
Yeah, and we're going to slow roll these. Do we have any saving throws in the bank?
Take 2.
We do have one.
Nope, I will
CP reroll?
CP and reroll
Yeah,
that one.
so we're going to CP reroll so we don't have to use the resurrection strat, and we fail! No, Karandras!
And I'll spend 1 more CP to try and bring him back.
Yeah, and then we're going to see if we can resurrect him. this coming turn. It is on a 4+ though, so putting our faith in the heart of the dice. Dropped a ton of CP to keep Karandras safe. All the little attacks into the striking scorpions to try to get rid of them. Bunch of ones to hit. That sucks.
1 wound -2.
On the scorpions?
On the scorpions, yeah. 1 damage.
Burn the invul save there. You've got nothing else into them, right?
The CCB and discuss.
Oh, right. Yeah. 1 damage. Okay, I'll just take it on the Exarch.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can potentially pull the Exarch here. Because we assigned wounds to the striking scorpion. Top heavy Silent King falling over right now. Because we assigned wounds to the striking scorpion on the objective in the shooting phase,
Have to go this way because
for the remainder of the shooting phase, he has to take wounds until he's destroyed. But that only applies for a single phase. So as soon as the fight phase ticks over, he's no longer required to receive the damage, which means that we can retarget to one of the other models in the unit and try to keep that striking scorpion alive, contesting that objective. And if the striking scorpions get to attack, then they could potentially get a second model on. Although, to be fair, I don't
1 inch goes up
think that changes anything, because these striking scorpions are not going to be able to move to the menhirs. So I think it's just we're just trying to contest units with the striking scorpion, the remaining striking scorpion, but I'm not sure that makes a huge difference.
And he attacks just into the this is just basic no AP attacks, and then at 2s, rerolling. Okay, 1 maybe.
Bust.
Fine. Okay, do you want to interrupt?
No, go for it.
Then we have this guy going like this here.
So command barge coming in now.
With 4 attacks.
Should clip out the striking scorpions, but we never know.
Archers. And wounding on 2s.
Not if you fail to hit, though. All the
4
wounds go
AP2.
through.
Like stuff, melee, yeah, AP2 and 2 damage.
Okay, burn 1 save because nothing else is coming through.
The Volstaic Staff is one of the interesting idiosyncrasies of Necron melee profiles, where, despite the fact that it's a big relic stick, it's only AP2 2 damage. It's like kind of it's like an autocannon, basically. It does have the ranged profile, which is really what you're buying it for, but like a lot of Necron characters, it's just sort of inexplicably weak in melee. Certainly not the Silent King, but all his other Overlord friends. Not looking so hot.
Okay,
All right, let's see if Karandras comes back.
Yeah, I guess.
Drum roll, please, chat.
I'll roll to see if Karandras comes back.
Oh, it's a 1!
Oh, he's dead.
That's
CP not very well spent, and then the striking scorpions.
Oh, no. I don't believe the Scorpions can fail their morale. They only lost 2 models, yeah. But that will contest...
7 attacks. Hit.
Oh, we have to attack back with them, yeah. That will contest his objective for MooMooCow, so he's only going to get a 4-point primary this coming turn.
Reroll full three.
What can he do?
Sorry, this is into the...
Seems pretty bad, to be honest, chap. I think Karandras not coming back is the brutal... maybe the nail in the coffin there. I think certainly the game plan would have been for Karandras to survive. You can save the CP on the from the ashes.
Oh yeah.
Although we saved our 6 on a saving throw, I think we could have saved him if we had just spent the saving throw save
4 attacks each.
from him. He could pull back and maybe clip an Annihilation Barge or some good dice. Probably gets killed in the subsequent shooting phase. He could then resurrect and get killed in melee. But at least it gives you another turn of operating with him. So in my opinion, I would have liked to have seen him get some love from the Strands of Fate dice there, but MooMooCow electing not to use the dice there. Yeah, chat. It's a real heartbreaker about Karandras, about the Candyman himself. Now that said, we do have a couple opportunities for MooMooCow. This side of the table is extremely lightly defended for the Necrons. We do have Behareth on this side of the table. He has an almost perfect profile to kill Tomb Blades. Coming in at... he has only Strength 5, so he's wounding them on 4s, which is a little bit awkward. You kind of want a Strength 6 weapon. But AP2, 2 damage... AP3, excuse me, 2 damage is enough to kill a Tomb Blade with each converted wound roll. Although I do think they have some shadow looms. Yeah, so they do have some invulnerable saves. So we could try to push Behareth into a charge on that objective and clear it. And then either run away or just eat the attack from the Locust Heavy Destroyer. You know it can't kill you, but you do have to deal with the Deceiver. Yeah, it looks like that's what we're going to end up doing. And we can use that extra engagement range to extend our charge range a little bit. So the charge is actually a little bit easier on the Tomb Blades than it might look. We do still have a Mortal Wound battery from all the Farseers and the Warlocks back here, so we could potentially try to knock out Annihilation Barge and or the Catacomb Command Barge. I think we hope that the second time's the charm for the Shining Spear Exarch, and he charges into this Annihilation Barge and clips it. Although we've lost our objective security on the Striking Scorpion, so it's going to be very difficult or maybe impossible to actually take this objective back. And Silent King did get... His Consolidate got blanked by the Striking Scorpion, so he's actually not projecting his Heroic Intervention aura off over the entirety of Objective 3. That said, I think all of the natural objective secured for MooMooCow has been destroyed. So he doesn't have anything to take that objective. He has Behareth who can do it, but he doesn't want to put Behareth in the center of the table. It'll just die immediately. So I don't know how he's going to stop the Necron 12-pointer here. But he's certainly going to be able to take back an objective from him. So Warlock Skyrunner's pushing forward, maybe trying to get a charge into the Locust Heavy Destroyer to remove it. If Behareth can deal with the Tomb Blades, then we only have to deal with Eddie over here. Although Eddie will eventually kill Behareth if the two were to fight. It would take a while. Because one of them's phased, they're both phase capped actually. They both can only take 3 damage a phase. But the difference being that Eddie has mortal wounds in the movement phase, which is a little bit more consistent than Behareth trying to shoot him with a gun. Quite a quandary, chat. Big question mark. These Annihilation Barges have really proven themselves, I think, in my mind. Given how, for 125 points, you know, like we've seen, they're just annoying enough to kill with their layered defenses. 9 wounds is a little bit of an awkward wounds characteristic to get through. You want, like, 3 damage weapons to do it most efficiently, and those are a little bit tough to source with a high enough volume that they can get through an invulnerable save and a transhuman effect. So you're trying to kill them with 1 damage or 2 damage, which it gets a little bit awkward because you have overkilled wounds and lost efficiency. Plus, if you don't kill them, they start healing. We saw 2 wounds healed on this Annihilation Barge after it didn't get killed. And with Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant locked in for Max, they can actually just fall back and be obnoxious. They obsec your objectives away. If you don't kill them in melee, they just pull out of combat and shoot you and take your objective anyway. I'm really impressed by these guys. They seem pretty sweet.
Okay. Going 16. Yeah.
Ooh. Shining Spear Exarch going for a little bit of a ride.
So you can't... You're technically engaged now, right?
We are engaged, yeah.
Sorry, make sure. Oops, these guys are slightly further back. Excuse me.
Did I advance or?
Yeah, 16. So yeah, that's I know.
All right, I'm gonna run a little bit of a break here, chat, while we run through our movement phase on MooMooCow side.
Okay. So that's movement, psychic. First of all, focus will on the fast Skyrunner.
I am in the deny range of everything here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't avoid that. You are.
Yeah.
24 inches is kind of all the way there. So.
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to do.
So focus will goes off with an 8. Do you want to deny that?
I do not. I'm just gonna wait for the good stuff.
Okay, so that's on the fast tier Skyrunner. Fateful Divergence goes off on a 6.
You have TCP. TCP. That would be removing that. And potentially anything here. The reroll. You do have a 2, so yeah, that would be on a 2 here. That is fine. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's up to 3.
Mhm.
So that's done. The Skyrunners here are going to cast Embolden on that Farseer, or try to anyway.
Mhm.
That goes off with a 7.
All right, so we are in MooMooCow's
Yes.
psychic phase now. Focus Whale's gone off on the Farseer Skyrunner. And a Fateful Divergence to regenerate a CP. Now trying to embolden the Skyrunner as well.
Is something in the CCP. I'm gonna try to deny that one, I think. Or is that he would be very likely, or quite likely undeniable. You'd have
Got it with a
3.
7.
Yeah, with a 7. You have the smite after this and quicken the other guy. Going to try to. Nah, we're gonna wait for interrogation.
Okay, so that.
Yeah, trying to hold our deny for Psychic Interrogation. Which I believe... Yeah, can only be cast by these Farseers. And has to target Sarek now. We'd have to see this Farseer push
then
back
the
to this
Farseer
side so he
Skyrunner-
could grab the
sorry, they've got
command
a second
barge
one.
without
You're gonna
getting in
put
range
Tech
of
Thunder
Sarek.
Swooping Hawks.
But we didn't see that move. Instead, I think we're going to be trying to Mortal Wound down this
So what
Annihilation
was that?
Barge.
Protect?
Protect, yeah, which doesn't go off.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, the Skyrunner here is going to cast. Yeah, gonna interrogate Tarek, I guess. Goes off with a 9.
Oh yeah, I have it at +1. I think I'm just gonna spend the CP for. You do get a +3 to the next cast here.
Yep.
So we're going to try to 4+ it, I think. That isn't only
He
an
does have
18
the Ghost
range
Helm,
game.
the special Ghost Helm, so you might not be able to deny.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to regular deny first.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Nope.
And then 1 CP.
Yep.
I did spend 44. Come on. Yeah.
Yep, denied. Okay. So, as you'd expect, Mind War going off on the CCB.
So 4+ denied the interrogation.
Oh
Okay.
boy,
trying
that's
to kill the
+3,
command
so
barge
7,
for the
it
Mind
does
War.
go off.
It does go off, yeah.
But all of the denies have been used to get rid of the psychic. They meant psychic
So I
interrogation.
rolled a
Excuse
D6.
me.
Yep.
Which will be. You roll first, just after you.
I rolled a 1.
I rolled a 1. So I take 1.
So, you take 1?
Because because the leadership 11 right now.
Yep, that's right. Okay, that didn't work out very well, and then I'm gonna
Tried as hard as we could to make that leadership,
do that. That does
get a
go off.
contested leadership check as damaging as possible against the Catacomb Command Barge. It did end up making a difference there. Trying to deal some damage to the Executioner, it looks like.
Okay.
Or the Crushing Orb, excuse me.
Is there any point in me spending another CP?
Down to 2 wounds left on that guy. We could Executioner him.
That's fine. Okay.
No Executioner? Oh, no, he's gonna survive. We do have pistols on the Striking Scorpions, although I think only one of them, or maybe 2 can attack him, so it's unlikely to actually kill him. And they will be fight lasted from
Yeah,
the Silent
mindful,
King, so
okay,
they're
yep.
just gonna die before anything can happen.
Fire Prism into that Annihilation Barge on the back there.
Okay.
So
you
moving
spend
to
anything
shooting.
to
Gonna try to
Do you
clip out
remember?
the Annihilation Barge with
Nope,
the
I
Prism.
can't. I only have 1 left.
Oh, I did question. Yeah. Is that worth it? I'll just quickly focus on my time. We would have 1 more for an Annihilation Barge. You could do over there. Gonna make you fight last over there anyway. There's no point in doing anything here really. So it will just be. I will pay the CP for Thwap Invul.
Okay.
Mhm.
Trees,
Necrons.
and then 4s. Reroll. Yep,
Okay.
that's a wound on your 4.
Come on, buddy. It's fine.
You're good.
Lovely.
Your saves have been on point.
Hey,
Yeah, so
yours too. Like the saves were not the
Yeah.
problem. The saves were
well,
not the problem.
I don't know. In fairness, I had to use miracle dice on that.
So the reinforced quantum shielding protects the annihilation bars, so it doesn't get killed by the fire prism.
Baroth shooting the.
Behareth probably wants to just start clipping the Locust Heavy Destroyers, I have to imagine. Yeah, there we go. He does have a 2 damage gun, goes into a 2 damage profile pretty effectively. Although only strength 5, winning on 4s is a little bit awkward.
Oh, the locust, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put Baroth into the locust.
So
Okay,
Behareth going into the Locust Heavy Destroyer, see if we can clip him out.
2s.
Did get a miss, unfortunately.
And then 3s. There we go, 2 wounds.
So
4
4
ups.
Oh, got him!
Oh. Well,
Killed
that's
Yeah,
Is
good
that
job,
first one?
Behareth.
Hooray.
That's what we need. We need to start seeing that happen a little bit more
This
often.
squad here is just gonna put all their shots.
Gotcha.
See if the Skyrunners can clip
Trees.
out a second Locust Heavy Destroyer. That would be pretty cool. I'm getting sort of Hail of Doom
And
flashbacks here.
then,
like
wow, I
5,
wish I
6s.
used Blade Storm there.
Yeah, if that had been old school Hail of Doom, it just would have been a dead
Yeah,
Locust
oil
Destroyer with that roll.
And then 5s, yeah.
Oh, bad roll, unfortunately.
1. That's another
Maybe
for
could
them.
do it, but sitting in cover, he's going to be
two
pretty well
traps.
defended.
It's fine.
Yeah,
And,
looks like he's
two,
good against the first
2 up,
abrasive
5 ups.
attacks. Takes 2
That's
from the
6.
rending shots. And we do have potentially, I think, a couple swooping hawks that can fire into him as well if they
Swooping
elect
Hawks here
to.
are then just gonna drop a bunch of shots.
Mm.
Can I see him?
MooMooCow, kill this
He's
heavy
got a
destroyer.
Yeah, I think
I want you to get rid of that guy
can
so
do
bad.
Kind of like these other 2.
Okay, those 2 into the Locust Heavy Destroyer, the 3 into Zarek.
Interestingly, the Silent King having moved into the center of the
Oh,
table
he's
here,
with
I'm
it.
not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
sure
sorry,
that he
yeah,
can move
forgot.
back behind this wall, which means that the only thing threatening the other side of this building is actually these Tomb Blades. So we could potentially see an aggressive reposition from the Swooping Hawks and push them somewhere maybe in this area to allow them to threaten a retrieve Nephilim data later on in the game.
Okay, so the 8 shots into that Locust Destroyer. Oh, sorry, before I forget, Battle Focus those guys.
Okay, cool.
Not gonna forget that again for 4.
So battle focus meaning they're not going to be eligible to declare a charge. But we are just going to put them into a position
these-
where they...
Then so the Exarch here is gonna put the shot into the Annihilation.
where they're a
What
little
did
bit
I say?
harder to see,
Annihilation Barge,
especially from
right?
Silent King.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 into Zarek, and then 2 into the Locust
No, no.
Destroyer.
8 shots go into the Annihilation Barge.
Sorry,
5
yeah,
into combat.
yeah, Exarch into Zarek.
The
rest-
exact Doom Blade.
Actually. No, actually, it makes more sense. I'll put everything into the Annihilation Barge from these 3,
Okay.
and then the 2 into the Locust Destroyer.
No worries, yeah.
Okay, so shots from the Exarch into the
Yeah.
Annihilation Barge there, and then 5s. Yeah, I'll just reroll one here. Might as well. 3 wounds.
4 up.
Take
let's
2.
see. This is.
Got him. Take that,
The
Annihilation Barge.
other 3. Thank you. The other 2, excuse me, on 3s.
Oh, no. Terrible roll into the
Okay,
Locust Heavy Destroyer.
and,
No auto wounds even. We do get a 1 wound through.
Yeah,
Can we
just one.
kill him? It does!
Takes another.
Oh, wait. No, that was into the Annihilation Barge.
Okay, and then the last 2,
Ah,
8 of
sick
them.
chat. I got really excited about killing that Locust Heavy Destroyer. Maybe we get some better dice there. We don't really.
Okay,
We do
so
get an
that's,
automatic wound, though.
1 auto wound.
2 wounds. Please die.
2 wounds.
No, he'll be okay. That's too bad. I got too excited.
And then they will battle focus out and land.
Yeah, so it looks like we are going to be pacing those guys into the back corner here to threaten that retrieve Nephilim. We do have to worry about the shooting from the Tomb Blades, but that's only if the Tomb Blades survive Behareth's charge. But back in this corner, they should be relatively safe. We could potentially...
Okay.
We have to push the other Tomb Blades pretty far in order to get shots on them. Silent King's mostly going to be out of line of sight and range. And he's probably going to be dealing with these Warlock Skyrunners, to be fair.
Okay, Farsia Skyrunner here is gonna put shots in the Annihilation Barge.
Yes.
2s. And then 5s, rerolling for ulti. Nope,
Oof.
but he will battle focus away.
These shooting attacks have been a little sad this turn, chat. Especially that Fire Prism not converting into the Annihilation Barge. Really not able to get the conversions that we need to. Yeah. Thanks, chat. That is an appropriate soundboard right there. Really struggling to get the conversions that we need to clear out these Necron vehicles, and they're just going to continue to wander around the table and put Tesla shots into people until the end of time. So, trying to push the Exarch into the Tomb Blades. No CP for an Overwatch here. I think I would have been. Oh, this is a shooting attack. Excuse me. We're firing a Shuriken catapult. Yeah, that would be a pretty spicy charge if we were going to go for that.
Okay. Okay.
I almost wonder if that Shining Spear just declares a charge back onto the blue Annihilation Barge in the back.
Charges. Baharoth into the Tomb Blades.
Yep. Putting the 6.
Max KO with the sub, thank you. Really appreciate it.
So basically
The support has been awesome, everybody.
Okay, I will. No Overwatch. So yeah, I'll just roll. Nah, I'll just burn the CP. I'll burn the Fate dice and just unfailable. I'll roll C1.
Oh hey, Steve Paolini over on YouTube. Just realized you're watching this live. Surprise! This is a live game. Ooh, and there goes Behareth with the big charge. Hopefully he can clip out the entire Tomb Blade unit here.
And then Shining Spear into the pink Annihilation Barge there.
Yeah, that here.
So Spear just going into the Annihilation Barge next to him.
Yeah.
That is an
Well,
unfailable charge, but it's a little bit less exciting than I think we were hoping for.
There's multiple reasons why.
Okay, yep, okay, that's it, I think.
Yeah, start of the fight first. I'm just gonna make it fight last.
Yeah, sure.
So the OBS
So I think
generator triggers on the Striking Scorpions.
6 attacks.
Probably, we don't really care so much about the Tomb Blades attacking Behareth, so yeah, we're just gonna swing at the
that's
Shining
just
Spear Exarch, try to...
rolled.
Oh no, we are gonna swing with Behareth, okay.
Make 1 a 6.
Yeah, you
Roll
just
the
want
rest.
to
So, Exploding 6 is one of them.
That's another 2. Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. Those go. And
then here comes some wound rolls.
5, so T5s are forced to wound, right? I'll use the 2 wound rolls there. And then roll the rest.
Making some automatic wound rolls, looks like with Strands of Fate dice. Yeah,
Okay,
looks
there you
like
go. 5 wounds.
5 going through. Should clip them. We do have one Shadow Loom. It looks like that's immediately going to fail.
Yep.
So we are down 1 Tomb Blade unit. Okay, good. Behareth using it, get a good weapon profile to convert. Taking the objective away.
I think that should be it for him. Shining Spear into your...
This side of the table seems like a lost cause, though. I'm not sure I would have actually kept those Striking Scorpions in melee, to be honest, chat. They did survive the last turn, but they're going to get fight lasted by Silent King, and that's mostly going to be lights out for them. It just sort of grants your opponent a bunch of extra combat activations for no reason. Did do 3 damage to this Annihilation Barge. Oh, a hugely relevant amount of damage. It is, I guess, good to know that he wouldn't have clipped out the blue Annihilation Barge if he had charged it.
About how much? 2, so kills 1, kills 2.
Yeah, then we're doing decide. And then 2s. Reloading. 3 invulsives.
5 ups on the last guy.
And there goes the Striking Scorpions. Yeah, it's a Silent King's attacks. See ya!
9.8.
And that will grant the Necrons their nice 12-point primary. 2 objectives secured to 0 objectives secured. On objective 2 up here, the Silent King taking objective 3, objective 5 totally uncontested. While the Aeldari have taken the 2 bottom objectives, we're starting to try a little bit of a base trade here.
Okay, yeah, that is that.
And that's going to be mostly it. Yeah, force is dwindling very quickly for Aeldar, and I think their potential comeback is slipping away. Again, we needed one of those turns to be absolutely lights out perfect, and that's not really what we got. The invulnerable saves were too strong on the Annihilation barges, and the mortal wounds weren't quite good enough on the Catacomb command barge. I think maybe we were hoping to... There's a universe, I think, where the Psychic powers clip out the Catacomb command barge shooting, and the Shining Spear XR kills the pink Annihilation barge. So we continued to knock Max down to an 8-point primary and kill a bunch of his assets. We take out everything on this objective. Leaving this Locust Destroyer on 1 wound is a little bit awkward.
Roll my fate dice.
I almost wonder. I know the Warlocks went for an Embolden. I do in a Protect. I wonder if they would rather have Smitten
Drop the charge.
to try to deal the additional damage to that Locust Heavy Destroyer.
So we will need to.
But obviously, hindsight being 20/20, since they didn't get the Protect off, I think certainly pretty excited to get Behareth to a better saving throw.
Yeah, he's gonna do the mission objective. I don't think from his starting position he cannot yet. Sorry, more will be done, suppose. We will have this one from this guy just going onto the blue. This one from this one, from the Silent King goes onto the Annihilation barge, and the other one goes into the other Annihilation barge. I think that about does it. In the command phase, I do want to switch out.
Yeah, Chad, it is looking like a
yes, I am. I do want to swap out
like an Aeldar tabling here very quickly. I do wonder in hindsight if there were more effective positions for the Fire Prisms on the first turn. And we also didn't, I don't believe even considered a Phantasm on the Eldar side, which could potentially have kept them safe. Although I'm not sure of the timing between Phantasm and all of the redeploys that the Necrons have.
We are gonna go into anything else in the command phase. Yeah. So we are going to move
They all started battle rounds?
over here. Just so we can go back. Just
Yeah, so
we can-
Phantasm is started the first battle round before the first turn begins. So I think that it would have to be declared, I guess, before MooMooCow knows whether or not he's resolving first. Which means that there is a potential that he Phantasms and then MaxGW just moves back into line of sight anyway.
In a straight line, just to be 12 inches away from them.
So that the Phantasm wouldn't have done too much work.
Action in this
But I think I would have liked to have seen, for certain, a Fire Prism behind this line of sight blocker. Since you should be able to hide a Fire Prism here without getting too many lines of sight, even with how fast the Necron army moves. They may be able to get line of sight laterally through this way, but it requires them to split their attacks between 2 Fire Prisms. And the issue was that there was a line here that could catch 2 Fire Prisms here and here, which allowed him to fire everything at them, which was, I think, what killed them. A little awkward. You could also place a Fire Prism inside the building, to be fair, too. Just like right inside here, which I think happens quite a bit. You have to worry about it being engaged, but, I mean, by what? I guess, like, Tomb Blades?
And we will get these guys over here.
That's not that big of a deal. You can pull out of the melee with those guys and kill them with random attacks.
Or a 13.
We could have maybe seen the Scorpic Destroyers teleported to that side of the table and then use their pregame move to get a big charge, but
Someone has to hold this one. So it's
feels a little bit like an overextension from the Necron player if that was the play. So I do think that MooMooCow played a little bit fast and loose with the Fire Prism placement, and he ended up paying the ultimate price for that, which is that he took massive damage on the first turn. And to be fair, with 2 aircraft on the Necron side of the table, it's difficult to stop. But especially with strong saving dice on Strands of Fate dice, you can blank the Doom Scythe attacks pretty easily. Doom Scythes are incredibly powerful, but they're not, they're not harpies. Their big damage gun is only a couple shots.
Where's the fastest guy runner?
Phantasm, the Prism's into Strategic Reserve. Yeah, that one's a little bit scarier. You do have the opportunity to strategic reserve in the corners here, but a lot of your strategic reserves could get screened out because you give up so much firepower on the first turn that the Necron player can kind of play in the sprinkler. And they can just continue to push their stuff up the table, and they can use their Doom Scythes to screen out the bottom corners. So you have to place off 1 inch off your table edge rather than placing normally. Whereas you would much rather strategic reserve farther up the table so you get better lines of sight. If they can, the Necron player can basically force you to stand next to Doom Scythes.
Just doing the action.
Glad that the Deceiver is worth taking now. I know, yeah. What a glow up on that guy from the previous version. Pre-data slate, he was kind of a joke. Everyone considered him to be the worst. The worst Catan shard for sure. So it looks like gonna be dropping the reserve to Doom Scythe back in. And once we look at the actual casualties inflicted on the Necron army, it's not that much. A Scorpic Destroyer unit, the 1 Doom Scythe. The second Doom Scythe was brought low but not killed, and is now healing back and almost back to full strength. Ugh. I do think that a part of the downside there was the Overwatch inflicting so much damage from that Doom Scythe into the Shining Spears. If those Shining Spears had, survived unscathed, been able to kill that Doom Scythe, so it wasn't able to come in, and then be a force to be reckoned with on the subsequent turn, this flank could look a lot different. They could basically trade for an Annihilation Barge at that point instead of just dealing damage to them.
So what's the charge distance here? He has to go around the corner.
Yeah, look at this aggression from the Necrons as well now. It looks like Silent King trying to get into the Fire Prism and the Skyrunner. Oh boy.
Can you just move 2 inches? That ends here. Okay, so like a 5 inch for the charge. Just goes. Like a 5? Okay. So yeah, in that case, we will just fire everything into the Fire Prism from the...
Yeah, so we're going to try to concentrate fire on the Fire Prism, clear out the landing zone for Silent King's charge, use that 2-inch engagement range to engage into the Shining Spear, or the Farseer, excuse me, from around the corner, and put ridiculous damage into the Aeldari deployment zone. And I think if all that happens and we do end up killing the Fire Prism, which to be fair is very likely here, I think that that is probably curtains for the Eldar. They will have several models left, but not really much they could do with them. Hell yeah, chat. Silent King getting stuck in. He's like, I might be silent, but we're about to make things loud up in here because I'm coming in hot and heavy. Does anyone else think that the Triumph Miniers kind of look like just huge subwoofers? Just big ol' speakers. So I think the Silent King is probably anything but silent. He's probably a really loud guy. Yeah, it looks like shooting, finally taking out that Shining Spear Exarch. Frees up the Tomb Blades to start firing. I really appreciate that we have built into this list a reliance on the Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant, which both affects, offensively, it works to project Sarek's auras out farther so that your army can spread out a little bit more, and you can really build around the Silent King's reroll aura, which is oftentimes a little bit tough to use. Or defensively, in a situation like this, you can use it to pull your models out of engagement. And that's really the power of that permanent protocol that we now see in Necrons getting from the data slate update, where you just have so much flexibility over the course of the game, and you can choose that before the game. So there are situations where you might take, an Undying Legions to repair more damage. You might take a Sudden Storm to get more threat range if you're trying to get line of sight around buildings.
Oh, sorry, it should just have 2 wounds left, as in 10 damage in total. Like it still has 2 wounds left.
Oh! I thought you said those did 10 damage.
Oh yeah, it would. It's not that crazy.
What a universe we live in, chat, where the power creep of 40k has gotten so bad that MooMooCow entirely believes his opponent that his weapons would deal a flat 10 damage. You're just like, it's like a rail cannon. I don't know. Take that. Yeah, so there goes Silent King removing the the Fire Prism, we now have clear characters to shoot at with the CCBs. And these Farseers, without a good armor save, they're not really benefiting from cover. They do have a good invulnerable save, but they are going to start getting ripped apart by Tesla shots here. Well, not if you roll a bunch of 4-ups to save, it looks like.
3 hits. 2 wounds.
Made him more.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the one time
This
it's not
is- yeah,
important. It doesn't matter for shit anymore, but you are making those saves, man. Annihilation barge into the discus. 10 shots with the Tesla. Hitting on hitting on 3s, rerolling. Actually 2s. Doesn't matter. So 16 hits. Wounding on 2s. Or 14 wounds.
This is on the infantry one.
This it's in Infitational on the board.
4-ups.
Oh,
Nope.
super bad.
Very dead.
You.
so Foot
then we
Farseer
have the
down.
Doom Scythe going in. The Doom Scythe probably has most of them visible. So we will just do the Annihilation Barge in the center here, shooting the Tesla into the Warlocks. So 10 shots. Hitting on 3s, rerolling for 5 extra, wounding on 3s. The same amount here. As in 8 Nopi.
Yeah, chat. The Universal Core
Take
Critical.
3, kills 1.
is
Then we
pretty
have the
good, for
Annihilation
sure.
Barge shooting into the Warlock. For
Shooting what?
It does...
into the Warlock.
I don't...
Can they see it?
I guess from a conceptual standpoint, Necron vehicles are mostly like they're kind of like land speeders, and GW likes to put core keyword on
Oh, okay.
war machines that have people in them that are just hanging out, which is basically all of the Necron vehicles, right? Even Doom Scythes have a little dude who's piloting it.
Okay.
Annihilation barges are just weird chariots.
Yeah, it's all good.
So the core keyword sort of conceptually makes sense, but obviously it is super powerful, and certainly on the aircraft. It's a little good.
Did it.
Full rerolls on your whole army from the Silent King. It's a real reboot Gilliman kind of feel, where you saw 8th edition Ultramarines list just stacking repulsors on repulsors and standing them next to characters, giving them full rerolls. Can confirm, it was pretty strong. At least they don't reroll wound rolls. That would have been... Ooh. They just do in melee, which doesn't really matter so much.
Swap-ins into the back. Swooping Hawks in the corner. Hits on the 4. Wounds on the 2. On your anvil.
5-ups. Made it.
Left it, cool. That is it. Brings us to charges. Charges, it will be this guy going into the Farseer. Needing a 5. On. That's a 10. That will do the trick. And just 5.4, and then just goes onto him. This is gonna pile in over the objective anyway. Do you mind just putting these symbols away?
Oh yeah, sure.
Then he just goes here, and just goes roughly here. And then we just have this one. The man here is in back, tagging along with him. Right. So we will have the oh yeah, and then for charges, the deceiver will go into Barry. Goes in. And we're just gonna base you here.
So Bahera did take his wounds cap damage from
we'll
the
stop at the
destroyer
deceiver.
shot.
5 attacks.
So we could potentially knock out Bahera.
Spend 1 CP, make a minus on it.
Gotcha. Hitting on 3s.
A lot of CP remaining for the
It always
other
plays
spend.
out.
And that CP spend was prophetic
Two invul saves.
right there.
4 up involved.
But Barry
Nope.
just fails both his saves.
Spend 1 CP, bring him back
Yeah,
at
rebirth that guy. Come back, dude.
Then we have the Titan King, loading.
Maybe the second time's the charm for the
Hitting on 2s.
the Phoenix Lord to come back.
This on the invul save.
Someone absolutely needs to paint the minions as subwoofers and give Silent King a giant guitar for a weapon, for sure. His big stick already kind of looks like a guitar, right? And by kind of, I mean it absolutely looks like a guitar. Like, that conversion's not even hard. It's kind of like on the tin. I actually come to think of it. Wait, he has speakers behind him. Hold up, chat.
5 invul saves, 2 damage.
Is Silent King just a rock star?
So, roll him again.
Is And this is like one of those little
Failed, so
electrical,
that's 2 damage.
like plasma effects that you see it in like raves and
Failed.
stuff.
That's another 2 damage.
He's got like laser lights somewhere.
1.
Oh.
Passed.
I think he might actually just be a musician.
Oh,
Passed. Last one. Passed. Lives on 2.
okay. 3 attacks with the stuff.
Yep.
Hitting on 2s. Okay. Wounding on 3s. 2 more invul saves to make.
Okay. 4 up. Failed.
21.
4 up. Passed. Down 1.
Leaving it down to the 2 men here attack.
Oh my god.
And on... Well, 2 more invuls to make.
4 ups. Failed.
Oh, you-
Spend the CP reroll that just to be annoying.
Ah,
Passed.
See, mine will be dead himself.
Passed.
well, okay. I'm just gonna base you here.
Amazing.
Uh,
Good job, Farseer Skyrunner.
I'm just gonna...
That was just. I'm sorry. That was just funny.
Yeah.
What type
Okay,
of metal
Macula
would the
didn't
Silent
expect
King
it,
be
it didn't
playing?
even pile in there.
That's
So
what
I
a
can't
silly
get
question,
this
chat. The answer is clearly living metal.
So, well, okay. Pretty funny. Cool. Nothing I can do there. Does Barry come back?
Okay. Does Barry come back? And then I'll swing back with my Fascia and my Warlock.
The katana's on
Nope,
vocals.
Barry also doesn't come back, so.
Oh
yeah,
no,
of
the
course you have to toss your
second
attack.
Phoenix Lord dies. And we are down to 3 Swooping Hawks and 2 Warlocks. 1 Warlock, 1 Farseer remaining on the table for MooMooCow. Yeah.
Use 2 hits from the.
Let's
and 2s to wound.
see how much damage these guys do.
On yourself.
Might be a talk out here pretty quickly, chat. Brutal.
You put him in it on
Okay, it's D3 damage, I think.
Is it? I think it's flat 2 now.
2, no, flat 2, yeah, so 2,
Yeah,
so yes.
it used to be D3.
Okay, and then the Warlock Skyrunner, 2 attacks, I'll just use the other 2 hits there, and then wound you on 2s. 4th
Okay.
wound again.
Well,
Okay.
you would be happy to hear that gives you a point for bringing it down.
Yeah.
Alright.
Hooray, that's something.
Fair enough. Cool. So then you don't have leadership for the
No.
for these guys. They're just good enough. So that will just give me actually only 2 points. Yeah, only 2 points for bring it down. For Purge. But well, we will score 5 points for. Because the guys the Farseer survived, it's only 3 points, but we're gonna get 12 points for machineries.
Yep,
And you will score the hold one.
yep,
Over to you.
thank you.
Um,
So I'll just roll for the rod now, see what happens. Yep, okay. I think.
Yep, just enough. Gives you the 4
Yeah.
for evil.
Alright. Okay. So no shenanigans.
So no talk out. We're just gonna play it.
Psychic, I will first of all
See if two Warlock or a Warlock and a Farseer can just total Silent King in 1 turn. Let's go.
I will try and mind
We
War
did
your
kill 1
Warlock.
Minier already. Oh, we're gonna Mind War the CCB again. Big roll. Look at that go.
And that's undeniable. So I roll 2d3.
You were
I got a plus 5.
5. 14 in total. Versus my 13. I take a mortal.
Take a mortal.
Plinks the
I will
CCB
then
for
crushing
1.
orb your command barge.
See if we can crush it. Let's go.
You probably want to cast it before. If you get it off, we know that you do.
Oh
2
yeah,
more
yeah,
damage,
sorry.
But you probably want to cast it. But a 7.
Yeah.
I'll try to deny it ordinarily. Denied
Denied.
tonight. Supremacy.
And then I will smite the Silent King. Goes off.
Wasn't that the 3rd cast?
Oh yeah, sorry, no, yeah, that's the wrong guy.
Yeah,
I will try and interrogate the Silent King.
yeah. With a
Yeah,
5,
it goes off.
using playing my CP to get it on a 4 up. Yep, it's not.
Yep, okay. I will just call GG there. There's
Yeah.
pretty much
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
I can do.
All right, chat. There's the talk out. If anybody has any questions for the players, go ahead and throw it in chat there.
Kind of happens.
You'll go that.
Purchase just, yeah. I will
Yeah.
just clear the engine back. Treasures is just, you can't deny it anymore, and Angels is just...
Yep, GG.
Yes,
Well played.
yeah. Huh, that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems like Annihilation barges do what they say on the tin, where they just barge forward and they annihilate things.
Yeah.
Is sort of
Yeah,
I think the lesson
like,
from the game.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, there's two ways for me to play it, depending on whether I go first or second. And if I go first, it just depends. Does he give me an opportunity to clear 2 fire prisms?
Yep.
Because I can't use the king as long as the prisms are alive. So
Right.
him, like on this map looks really closed up, but I played around a bit with deployment, and even completely safe deployment. It still gives you the opportunity when you have the redeploy plus flyers plus and so on. So the moment I saw that he had the opportunity, that he had 2 barges here, 2 prisms here, that is pretty safe bet that I cleared them. I did a bit worse than I thought I would, because that's why I set up so much stuff to clear the smaller units. But pretty much the moment the 2 fire prisms was gone, he had the one chance where he needed a really superb turn to clear a lot of things. And the Carandras plus the guy, these Dragon Scorpions not clearing a barge is just a bit embarrassing.
Yeah, that was super sad.
They really suck against vehicles. It has
For
to be
sure.
said. They're just not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, I didn't Phantasm because I didn't think it would work anyway. It's a dice roll as to whether he redeploys first or not.
Right.
I mean,
and to be honest, I mean, if I redeployed on this side and kept them safe on, kind of put them up against terrain, hit them around in this corner here. I mean, he simply just redeploys on the other side and then comes across the same way.
Right.
It's not even that. If you are perfectly safe, I'll just fly off the board. And I just switch to the second option, which is just I have to vastly bet the secondaries. I just run away from you.
Yeah.
I
mean, the reality is he can afford to kind of sit there. That's an easy 8 points, probably an easy 12 for ancient machineries.
Yeah.
Treasures is easily, even if he just scores 2 for every single 10 of this game, just sitting on that's an easy 10.
Yeah. The important thing is if I do this the hyper defensive play, you score nothing for bring it down, and you will just score the 4 for Nephilim.
Yep. And he can screen me out. So if I pull them off completely, I'm basically just coming in at the back here. And if he brings his flyers straight forward, I'm not even coming in. Right.
Yeah. If you reserve yourself, you mean?
Yeah. So it's really tough, I think.
Yeah.
It is. I think. Yeah. It's just I think that after you can't play the pure uninteractive one anymore because you just don't have strength into the last. So this is just what really.
I mean, it was, but this list was never gonna go for to the last anyway because the 5 prisms are huge targets, right? So.
Yeah, that always was a problem. But
I mean, the psychic. I think part of the problem was the psychic doing basically nothing, right? I got 3 for psychic interrogation.
Yeah, but I mean that's always swingy with the 4-ups.
Yeah.
In my pregame analysis, I had interrogation down on as a 15. If I'm honest, so bit of a change there.
Yeah, I mean, I had the idea originally that I would try and take out your characters, but that was if I got first turn, right? And that's not necessarily easy. So, like, you can probably pull the size off the board, maybe pull Silent King, although he was. Right,
Yeah,
so.
like I basically have 2 options. Either pull all my 3 characters, put them into reserve. So you're not going to score interrogation. Then you're not going to score Nephilim, and you're not going to score bring it down, which just basically leaves you in a position where you have to rush into me, which is just you just die. The other option is just I put these scythes into reserve. Although because he didn't Phantasm, they were honestly safe there, which is just a pregame move, just going into there. So that was pretty.
Yeah, I mean, Phantasm wouldn't really have done much, I think.
I would agree there. Plus, you just need the option for the 2 CP for the things for
Link's fire. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I can generate 2 CP if I need it to, but that just burns everything else for for like all the other saves and slot stuff. So
Yeah, like in the
Yeah.
score, like in the scoring, there would have been some swings if for the guys who would have come back.
Yeah,
Because you
I
could have used Karandros to go into the destroyer here and so on.
yeah. So just I guess a combination of bad positioning and then which made the dice matter, and then that just sheer lack of good secondaries.
Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to a lot these days.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, could I have done anything else? Scout the enemy? Nah, nothing would have survived long enough.
Would you have gone aggressive if you went first? Would you have aggressively phantasmed with the Karandros and Scorpions?
I can't deploy them outside though, right? So, like,
mean,
once you phantasm, you got to put them back in your deployment zone.
I mean, yeah, that would be contentious. I'm not sure how Tortoise is ruling it.
I guess
there's an FAQ on concealed positions that requires you that specifies it only works during the deployment step of the game, and Phantasm is start of first battle round.
Okay,
basically, yeah.
Okay, so in here, you like for Tortoise, you cannot do that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So basically,
Yeah, it's in the
basically
Space
what?
Marine FAQ, I think.
Yeah, my only option if I went first was to try and snipe out a bunch of barges early on, because I can, if with a bit of luck, I can fate dice the big shots from your big guns, right?
Yeah.
What actually does a lot of damage is your just high volume into my 3-up save, because I'm not spending fate dice on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So
Yeah, I mean they were a bit under, but I mean they clear everything out so well, like all of the ranges, all of these Reaping Hawks.
yeah. No, absolutely right. So that's why the barges are actually the biggest threat, I think. So if I had gone first, that one there would have been. I think you deployed one.
They could all have been out of land side, which is where they were all deployed pretty well.
Yeah, I guess you could probably redeploy them. So yeah, it wouldn't
Oh,
make a
no,
difference.
it's just pre-game move of the objective.
Oh right, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
just you've. The irony is that you had more mobility.
It is
all
not
those-
something you.
It's all those space chariots, you know?
Yeah.
They left all the armor plating off their vehicles for a reason.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
so that they could move faster than Eldar.
Yeah, and I mean, I honestly, I absolutely recognize that the AVs were a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm perfectly happy. I used to run 3 of them, right? So they're really good.
It's funny because this is the only type of list that I ever wanted to play for Necrons, like running a lot of gunboats.
Yeah.
I was looking at the points. Why did I not get a points decrease again?
Yeah.
They're just overcosted at this point. I'm just they're all cool now.
Yeah, they're.
And I understood. Yeah.
You're basically running the end of 6th edition Necron list, right? A couple of flyers, minus the Silent King. Then just spam the gunboats.
Yeah, I mean it's working so far. Like the only thing that I'm just testing around is whether I want a down. The receiver is pretty good. Yeah. Just depends a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, GG.
Yeah.
Good luck for the rest of the game, for the Invitational.
Yeah, thank you.
We did have a couple of questions from chat. You guys were talking about the Tesla specifically, and there was a question from Tom Sawyer for Max. Have you used the Annihilation barges against Armor of Contempt armies, and are they still viable in those games?
Yeah, it's like Armor of Contempt. Like the list doesn't look like it does a whole lot against Blood Angels, for example, or against Dark Angels, like a Terminator spam.
Mm-hmm.
That list effectively tabled a Dark Angel Terminator list in 2 turns. And it also effectively, and it did the same to a fully meta 2-up Terminator, Flying Terminator Blood Angels list last turn. It just kills those stuff in 2 turns.
Right.
The Tesla isn't the king there, but it's because it's like 50 shots.
Right.
Because you reroll everything in the bubble, you get like 70 hits out of this,
Mm-hmm.
and then you wound at 3s. So you still kill like 3 Scarebook Terminators, for example, per turn if you just shoot into them. It just adds up. It's just the additional chip damage, and it's also really nice to clear the last wound of something.
Yeah.
But it's mostly there for Harlequins and so on, and just good all around stuff actually.
Yeah, for sure. think there was another question. Nurgle Matthew in chat asking, what do each of you think is the most valuable unit in your army? Pretty interesting for Necrons because it's kind of a
it completely depends on the matchup. In some, I would actually say that the Tesla platforms are the most valuable, like on a consistent basis, like against Quins. Just fall back and shoot, blast with Tesla. Dictan has the games where he's good. And then it just comes down. Some games, sometimes the Locust Heavy Destroyers have good ones, but for the most part, they're just screening and action monkeys. Just 50-point unit that has in Knights, I just want to keep them safe. Here, I just don't really care whether they live or die. Sometimes it's a king. Sometimes he just needs to hide for a game. It really depends. You need to be flexible there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it does kind of feel like, and maybe this game is, that's just how this game ended up, but it does feel like the Silent King is sort of the center of the combo, because if you project Zora to 9 inches, he hits your whole army, right? So even if he's just sitting behind a building somewhere, he's still going to be contributing a lot of value to the gun line. Is that fair to say?
Bit of a problem on this type of maps where where he's just I think the one model that he can't hide behind these walls. So he struggles a bit here.
This is so tall.
But yeah, generally he just has become a massive centerpiece. Definitely. Oh, I forgot to mention the Scorpeks, who just were on a mission this game just to run over there and prevent the barges from being attacked.
Right, and they were like, no scanning for you. You don't get no primary objectives. Get out of here. We're gonna stand here for a while. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's just a good unit. It's just we living in a day and age where he's just absolutely squishy. 26 wounds, but a toughness 7 and 4 pinball. Yeah, he can't be out in the open. He just dies. So it's a bit tricky to get the because you want to use him immediately at some point, because that's kind of where he needs to be to get full value. At some point, he needs to be further up the board to just provide the aura to everyone. But he does love dying.
Yeah, for
sure.
Well,
he didn't die this game.
Yeah, Silent King is he's a little disappointed. He loves dying, but he didn't get to do it. Poor guy. We were joking throughout the game though that he is called the Silent King, but it might be an ironic name because he's clearly a rock star. Not only for the fact that he's super powerful and inspiring to his troops, but also Miniers are nothing if not subwoofers, right? And I think if you look behind him, he has 2 speakers behind him on his throne, and his big stick is clearly a guitar.
Yeah. Plus, he has a very rockstar pose on top of the stairs.
Absolutely.
You can imagine him slowly sliding down.
Yeah, he's about to film a music video right here for sure.
He's even got his background dancers. Backup dancers behind him.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thanks for the game. I'll let you guys go. Game. And congratulations, Max, for making it on to the next round.
Thank you.
GG, well played, Max. Take care.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Thanks, Trevi. See you.
Cheers. All right, chat. That's it for this game. Congratulations to Max for taking it down. Absolutely a brutal alpha strike there, but again, it was going to be difficult for the Aeldari to sort of set up in a defensive position. I know there were some questions there about the redeploy, how the redeploy interacts. The problem is that the redeploys are not during the deployment step; they are during the first battle round. And then abilities specifically that trigger in the first battle round are rolled for, because now we're inside a battle round. If it would trigger after deployment or some step like that before the end of the first battle round, then you would roll for it, or you would move first, or first turn and redeploy first. But because it is during the first battle round, things get a little bit funky. All right, chat. Well, that is going to be it for this game. Stay tuned tonight. So it's about 7 hours from now. We have a double header planned. 2 games happening simultaneously. So we're going to be hopping between those 2. And it's going to be awesome. So that is going to be... Just check my schedule here. I know Dutes and Ashy are going to be playing, and I know that's probably going to be a barn burner of a game. Very aggressive Chaos Space Marine Creations of Bile list versus another aggressive Adepta Sororitas list from Ash, playing a mass number of Nun bots. And then we also have Devin and CMob playing just a hair before that. Devin playing Thousand Suns versus CMob's Tyrannid. So super excited about this game, or both these games. So it's going to be tonight. Stay tuned for that. And that's going to be most or almost half of the first round completed, but we do have games scheduled tomorrow, Friday, and this coming Sunday. There is a stream schedule up on tts40k.com/invitational. You can go check that out. And the events for those games will be going up on the YouTube channel as well, so you can get a notification when they go live. As a bit of a final note, we just want to throw another shout out to our sponsors over here, 3D6 Wargaming, GameMat.eu, and Snot Goblin Gaming, and their super duper cool modular terrain set that's going on Kickstarter this August. Big thanks to those folks for supporting the channel, and we are going to end things now. Thanks everyone.